Hello and welcome to the 2018 FIA World Rallycross Championship presented by Monster Energy. We are in the home of the fairy tale in northern Germany for round 11 of the season. The circuit here in Estering is the oldest on the calendar and a classic in the world of rallycross. This will be the championship's 60th event, a fitting place to host it as the iconic first corner here in Estering is one of the greatest sights in motorsport and not for the faint-hearted. We also arrive here with the champion crowned. Johan Kristoffersson sealed his second consecutive world title last round at the amazing circuit of the Americas in Texas. He has dominated from round one, smashed every record in the book and achieved near rallycross perfection in 2018. A fairy tale year from the very start.
Coming into the season as a champion, of course the target was to defend the title. I felt very comfortable in the car, but we was not really faster than anyone else, but I was anyway able to win the first two events, which was quite crucial. To have the most wins in a season is for sure nice. This season it has been 9 so far, and it's just amazing. And I think one of the secrets is to just don't look back. You just have to focus on the next event. You have to prepare yourself as it is a new event every race weekend. I think for me, perfection to have maximum score on a race weekend is just to be super prepared before going into the race weekend. You have to do all the analysis before the race weekend. When you arrive there, you just focus on your driving, your setup, your next heat, and you've done the all preparation beforehand of the race weekend. To be the first double FIA World Champion as a Swede is something very, very special. To be among the names which already has won is just amazing, but to be able to be the first one to have 2 is something special, something for the books, and something I will really remember for all my life. It's a good thing to be a double world champion, but next thing I want to do on my list is to have a good result in Buxtehude. The day after Texas, to be honest, I was watching onboard, preparing myself. This track is the only event of the year which I haven't been on the podium so far. So I've been preparing myself. I'm gonna give my maximum this weekend to reach the podium in Buxtehude.
There we have it. The champion Kristoffersson has a 77-point unassailable lead with 2 events still to go. That is a driver at his career peak. But the real interest is below. Just 9 points separate Matthias Ekström in second to Sebastian Loeb in fifth, with Solberg and Baccarat in the middle. In the Teams Championship, PSRX Volkswagen Sweden have a commanding 79-point lead after their 1-2 in the USA last time out. If they finish Estering with a 55-point lead, then they are the team's champions. In 2014, Estering witnessed the closest finish in World RX history, with Petter Solberg beating Matthias Ekström by just 0.005 of a second. The 2 former champions are second and third in the standings, with just 2 points between them. Let's take a look at their stats for the year so far. Part of the season, Ekström just edging Solberg, but very evenly matched. They've met 27 times on track this season. 52% of the time it's gone Matthias Ekström's way, but still so close. Qualifying race wins, semi-finals, almost equal, but that all-important win has eluded both of them.
You know, one guy told me one time, it's winning or forget it, it doesn't matter. But for me, when you have a team and people working very hard, and you don't have a chance anymore to win it, of course, second place is as important. I think to even be top 3, with the competition we have here, or in any other motorsport, you should have a big respect for. It's so many people who's trying to do this and maybe some never reach it. So I think we should have more respect for it. So second place for me will be a great big thing for me personally, and also for the guys that working around in the team.
I mean, I always said as a kid, second place is the first loser. For sure, the battle with Seb, Andreas, Petter, and myself is great. 2 races to go, and I mean there's hardly nothing in it in terms of points. So then to have Buxtehude coming up, I think it will spice it up even more, because here first corner and action would be really exciting if us 4 could be the first 2 rows in the final, because I think that would be mega going into turn 1.
Niklas Gronholm is 7th in the driver standings. The young Finn is the highest-ranked non-factory driver and hasn't missed a semi-final all season. Mathematically, he is the most improved driver in World RX this year, with many people keeping a close eye.
For sure, from last year, it's been a big step, reaching the semi-final in every race and a few finals also. The car was quite fast out of the box, but quite soon we realized that we still have a lot to do, and small things make a huge difference. And yeah, we've been updating the car in small steps all the way through, but we have some big ideas for next year and for the future to build on this car and get it even faster. I think it matters a bit to be the best non-factory, but it doesn't really matter for me. I want to be best of the best, so yeah, that's the main goal, to reach the top.
Germany is the final round for the European Super 1600 class. Theoretically, the top 4 could take the title, but in reality, it's the top 3 who have a chance at victory. This should go down to the wire.
8 points is not a lot. It's not like safe points. It will be interesting. Baumanis, Nureyev is close, and this track is really strange first corner, and it will be interesting.
Before the action gets underway, let's take a look at the track. Estering in Germany, the oldest track on the calendar and one of the shortest at 952 metres. 60% asphalt, 40% really loose gravel, and this year with a change to the Joker lap. We ride on board with Solberg up towards the infamous turn 1. Look at this. On the handbrake, rotates the car early, on the gas, 600 horsepower four-wheel drive, dragging the car out and down the back straight. This circuit might be short, but it is fearsomely fast down the hill, one of the fastest points on the calendar. On the brakes then and into turn 2, another very long hairpin. Look, Armco lined, you cannot clip that. Now super committed, through the left, up and over through the right. Watch for the car to go sideways, all the way out to the wall. Standard lap goes right, Solberg look goes Joker. Entry speeds here are very different. The Joker is now wider. Crucially, on the right, that wall is concrete. You cannot touch it. Back up over the line towards that fantastic first corner. Unseasonably dry, hot conditions and a dusty track greeted the drivers for Q1 in Germany. Kristoffersen was out in the first race of the day and showed his intent with a great start and safe tactics at the first corner. A couple of fastest laps later, and his was the target time to beat. A side-by-side fight with turn 1 specialist Kevin Eriksson saw Petter Solberg force his way into the lead, though the fight lasted all the way to turn 2 at the bottom of the hill. He also banged in 2 fastest laps and took nearly a second off his world champion teammate's time. Hansen and Ekstrom have been renewing their rivalry at recent events, and it continued in Q1 here. Ekstrom led. Hansen looked faster but couldn't find a way past, despite a little contact on more than one occasion. Ekstrom took the flag, but the battle had cost valuable time. It was left to Kevin Hansen to uphold Peugeot honours in the final Q1 race, with the best of the rest honours going to him, but it was Solberg who took the session. Ollie Bennett kicked off Q2 with his second ever World RX heat race win, a good result for the Brit in the Mini. Race 2 was very typical Estering, with every possible angle of attack into the first corner. Liam Doran tried the round the outside, but found Timosyanov on the exit, leaving Baumanis with the whole shot. Timosyanov put a big push in to try and get the overlap on the Joker, but misjudged his exit and hit the new concrete wall. Race over for him, checkered flag for Baumanis. Timmy Hansen and Andreas Backrud were next to go door to door. Hansen was forceful at the exit of turn 1, leaving Backrud to look for a way past. In the end, it was the very same corner that caught the Swede out, and Backrud didn't need asking twice. Advantage Audi in that one. The final race of day 1 saw a great battle between the two double World Rallycross champions and teammates, Solberg and Kristoffersson. Try as he might, Kristoffersson could not gap Solberg, but Solberg couldn't find a way past. In the end, it was the Norwegian who blinked first, making a mistake in the dust and handing the overnight TQ to Kristoffersson.
Johan, it looks like you were more sideways than Petter here. That seems to be the secret at Estering now?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I try to drive as aggressively I can because that's not what I've done in the past, and I try to don't think too much about the line, and more put the car sideways early, and I don't know, just trying to push, and I mean, I'm enjoying.
And there was some confusion about the Joker. Had you communicated with Petter's spotter because it looked like a late call?
Yeah, no, it was the plan. If I come out first, I Joker on the 3rd lap, and so it was everything according to plan.
Well done, thank you.
Thank you.
Here are the standings then at the end of day 1. Johan Kristoffersson, the overnight TQ from his teammate Solberg. Backrud 3rd. Kevin Hansen, brilliant for Peugeot in 4th. Ekstrom, Hansen, Gronholm and Sebastian Loeb, the top 8. Baumanis, Markland, Schischrit and Eriksson are currently inside the all-important top 12, with everybody else looking for a spot in the semis.
Well, already ready for warm-up is Timur Timozyanov. Timur, it looks like the car's been fixed overnight. Are you ready to make up the difference from yesterday?
Yeah, the guys have done a great job. We have some big troubles yesterday. The impact was quite really hard into the chassis, and yeah, some metal job is done and like small things. Yeah, we are ready now, and how you can see that we are from the last row starting. Today will be a difficult day, but we will try to figure out somehow to be in semi-finals.
Good luck, thanks Timur. Let's just go over here. There's a cluster of drivers. Try and speak to some of them. Jump in here. Sorry, gentlemen, if I can just interrupt. What's the general feeling between you three as the sun rises here in Estering?
We're just speaking about, like, I told Ole, you did well, good starts yesterday, and he said, oh yeah, the car is working well. And I tell him, never say anything good about it. It's your fault that the car is doing well in the start, you know?
See if he's taking your advice. It was good yesterday. What was the secret?
Yeah, I mean, my foot was really responsive on the clutch. The acceleration was brilliant, so yeah, it's perfect. A bit loud there, so yeah, we're getting away for practice, which should be great. I've got a good Q3 position, so we're just going to go for it and see what happens.
Excellent. Oh, good luck with that.
Thank you, mate.
And let's go over here, have a little word with Robin Larsen. Robin, yesterday wasn't the easiest of days. What's the plan for today?
I don't know. We have the same line 3 every time, and same today, so it's not that much to do. We need a really good start or some luck in the first corner, so I need to battle it out. But
it's a bit loud right now. Explain to us why the position on the grid is so important here. What does it mean, technically?
It's either you need to be on the inside, then you can just block the inside, and it's better to be on the outside, then you can just go around everybody. But in the middle, it's so hard to do anything out of it. So yeah, we need some luck and good starts, but we don't have the speed on the track, so we need much luck. But it's been the same all year, so we'll see.
Good luck, thank you. Let's move over here. Just quickly grab Jānis Baumanis. It's very, very loud, but Jānis Baumanis, how are things looking as we start day 2 here in Germany?
It looks good. The sun is shining, and the first guy is already on the line, so I'm in the 3rd run. Yesterday Q2 was really good, 8th overall, and only 2 tenths from Matthias and in the front of the guys, so but it's good. You know, these cars are quite loud.
That's what we like. Thank you very much, Jānis. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Sorry.
Hello from Estering, my name's Andrew Coley. Joining me on co-commentary this weekend, Tim Harvey, 1992 British touring car champion and a massive rallycross fan. Neil Cole reporting from the paddock. Kristoffersen leads overnight from his teammate Solberg, then it's Bakker and Hansen, Ekstrom, Timmy Hansen, Gronholm and Sebastian Loeb as your top 8. But of course, it's the top 12 cut-off point, which is most important. Baumanis, Markland, Shisha, Ericsson currently in. Everybody else is chasing a spot in those semi-finals. Early Sunday morning for the first races of Q3, and grip levels were varied thanks to that low sun. You can see the shadows over the track, you can see the wetness in the gravel. Turn 1, Cyril Raymond super wide, Timosyanov manages to get up the inside. The Frenchman battles his way into the lead down the back straight. That battle continued, Timosyanov getting up underneath him up at turn 1 next time round, and this time it was advantage to the Russian. They followed each other round until the very last corner, when they both took the Joker lap together, and unfortunately for Cyril Raymond, who's not very well this weekend, a half spin costing him time. Timosyanov set the time for everyone else to beat. Okay, here is the lineup for race 2 of Q3. On the inside, Anton Markland for GCK, then it's Kevin Eriksson and Robin Larsson, the two of the most sideways guys up at turn 1. Kevin can't pull around the outside from the inside, but what can he do? 2 tyres for Kevin, 4 for Robin. Ollie Bennett in 15th, Liam Doran in 14th. Liam here, brand new boots on the car, P14, needs to get that car into the semis. And this morning he was practicing the round the outside move, and you can see from his grid slot now why. So Liam looking for that move. He was so committed this morning in free practice up there. I've never seen, maybe his outlap in Lowiak a few years ago in the rain, everyone was waiting, and Liam was like, do you know what, I'm just going to go and have a go. He's got great car control, great self-belief. What can he do from here? His teammate Markland is on the inside. Even start across the grid, but Eriksson Larsson looked to have shaded it slightly. Eriksson's going to go into the inside. Liam Doran will try the outside move. Go on, Liam on the gas. He's going to put it in the gravel trap, though. Larsson, Liam is out in the gravel at the back. Larsson loses out even more. Liam managed to get past Bennett on the run down the hill. He's up behind his teammate Markland. Markland is P2, but it's Eriksson who leads from slot 2 on the grid.
Yeah, well, Liam Doran with those 4 new tyres gave it everything he could to get into the lead, but ran a bit wide. He actually was quite lucky to come out of that in 3rd.
Yeah, he was, and it was borderline to him. If he'd been 2 feet earlier in, he wouldn't have put the rear wheels on the gravel, and it could have happened.
Yeah, I think he needed it though, because he has potentially got the speed to get into the top 12, but now he needs to play this tactically well.
So Larsson struggling, 4.6, but takes the Joker to see if he can edge anybody during the race. Liam now following Markland. Markland drives the car very differently to Liam, although they both have the same feelings about making it work for them. So I wonder what he'll do here if he follows his teammate, sees maybe where he's getting edged. To me, they're both on very, very similar pace here, and it looks quicker than Eriksson in front.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody drives quite like Liam, does he?
No, I love his stuff. Yes, right, Liam Jokers. Liam, yeah, great. Could be a decision from him or his spot. He's a little bit wide of the apex in the Joker. Going to try and get Bennett on the exit. Bennett's going to have a look up the inside here. Liam shuts the door on him. Handbrake early on the gas early. Manages to get past, smokes the wheels up, maybe lost time there.
Yeah, but at least he came out in 3rd. If he can put in a quick lap now, before the others Joker on a clear track, he's got a chance to jump possibly Markland. But look, Markland is stuck behind Eriksson.
So we're thinking that the Joker is around 1.1 with the current conditions. Fastest lap of the day, Kevin Eriksson, but it's not fast enough for Markland. But Markland makes a mistake on the way into the Joker too. So Doran ran wide at the and he runs wide at the apex as well. Liam could get this. Liam Doran on the standard lap, but no, Markland's done it. So Liam's Joker lap wasn't as good as Markland's.
I think that moment up at turn 1 after the Joker for Liam probably cost him that opportunity.
So Markland, can he get Eriksson? Can Eriksson keep it tidy? If they're giving him a shout, they'll tell him. People are struggling in the Joker lap. Tim is still in the shade. Markland made a mistake on the way in. Liam made a mistake at the apex. Eriksson's got to nail this.
Yeah, if he gets it clean and tidy, Markland had that little moment going in. Look, he's nice and tidy.
No, he's not.
He's run wide as well.
A little bit too much gas. You heard him. You would have heard him. He gassed it up on the way, and he's still going to get it. Eriksson takes it. Is it quicker? It is 2:28.2. So 2.2 seconds faster for Eriksson than Timosyanov.
Oliver Bennett, another problem in the Joker. It seems to be giving them problems. I wonder if it's coming into the sun, track a little bit different, I don't know, but quite a few problems early doors in the Joker.
Of course, they don't get to do the Joker lap very often. They've only had 2 laps in free practice, and it seems that people are struggling. So Eriksson takes it and goes fastest in Q3 so far. There's confirmation of the result. 2:28.296, the new target time. Markland, Doran, Larson, Bennett, and now you'll see where they slot in. So Kevin, Anton and Liam go to the top of the table. Timazyanov drops to 4th. That's a shame. Oliver Bennett currently at the bottom of those who've, sorry, at 8th P8. Of course, a couple of people slower than that. We've had 10 cars already. Raymond and Munich behind him. So here's a look at the start. Liam Doran said they needed to get the starts right. It was good, but if you look, both the GCK machines just slightly edged. And here, Tim, he needed to be just, what, 20 feet earlier on the way in, but it would have given you 2 feet on the exit, maybe.
Yeah, dumping it in the gravel just slowed his momentum. He ended up coming off in 3rd behind Markland, and that really compromised his race, because I think Liam had the speed this weekend.
Liam in the Joker there, you can see it wasn't really that wide, but then it was up at turn 1, wasn't it? He really smoked it up here. Kevin Eriksson making, maybe not a mistake. Look, they're all making little mistakes, Tim. We saw this yesterday. Everybody's trying extremely hard.
They are, and with the Joker right at the end of the lap, as I said before, you know, the driver's really hyped up. He's desperate to get it done. He can't get it right, makes a mistake.
Here is the grid then for Q3 Race 3. Matthias Ekstrom on the inside. He won here last year. He won the World Championship here as well. So a good circuit for him. Niklas Gronholm 7th, doing a fantastic job this season. New boots for him. Balmanis 9th. Loeb 8th. New boots for Loeb. Gulan Schischrit is on old tyres in P11. So good job by Schischrit with the GCK team. What information of his teammates fed back to him. Markland is just ahead of him in P10. Liam Doran down in P14. Sebastian Loeb 3rd of the Peugeots. Kevin Hansen is the best Peugeot, but we do know that that older car had seems to have a slightly wider operating window than the new one. The new one, they, you know, should have more ultimate pace, but it's got to get dialed, and it's not quite there. Right, here we go. Thumbs up, revs up. Anti-lag on. Fingers in ears in the background. Brilliant start, Loeb, terrible start. Schischrit is bogged on the line. Ekstrom, Loeb's got the whole shot. Gronholm's up the inside of Loeb. Loeb on the handbrake, trying to come around the outside, but Gronholm's there. It's going to shut the door on him. Gronholm's in the back of Ekstrom. Loeb down a gear. Balmanis is to his right, so Loeb versus Balmanis down the hill. Gronholm's lost out to Ekstrom too. Ekstrom leads, looking at contact between Balmanis and Loeb. That's about 120 miles an hour. Loeb's off into the gravel trap. Timmy Hansen had a shot there a couple of years ago. Four-wheel drive sees the 9-time world champion drag it out, but he's got contact in the rear again. Schischrit's caught up with him. You ride on board with Sebastian Loeb. This is your leaders, though. Ekstrom and Gronholm.
Well, all of these guys perfectly capable, already in the top 12. They didn't need that. And tyre management was going to come to it. Loeb took 4 new tyres, wanted to make the most of it, get a quick time. He's now been massively compromised. Schischrit, who's stalled on the line, also behind.
Yeah, Schischrit jokering as well on lap 1 there, and he might as well gives himself a bit of track space. He's already lost out. Gronholm there, super fast down the straight, chasing Matthias Ekstrom. Gronholm chased Sebastian Loeb at lap 2. When I spoke to him, he said, there were a couple of little things I learned, and Tim, you'd think of this, no, they don't need to learn, but of course they do, and with drivers like Ekstrom, Loeb, Solberg to learn from, the youngsters like Gronholm and Hansen, you know, they can pick up just a little thing, maybe.
Yeah, very much so, and following, you know, previous world champions isn't going to hurt. And also at this stage of the year, car developments come on. That Hyundai and side by Loeb, absolutely no prisoner with Balmanis. Wow, that was aggressive.
Side by side, Loeb's going to get him on the traction, so yeah, very, very forceful indeed. Loeb trying to make up places. Balmanis out the Joker, of course. Loeb has still got to do his, so he's got to gap Balmanis significantly now. Saying 1.1 is the difference between. There you go, Gronholm, fully committed. Handbrake into the right, passes underneath the commentary position. The noise is incredible. Touch that barrier on the left and away up to turn 1 here.
Yeah, but look, I mean, that car's working well. Look, a little tug on the handbrake. It's only a tiny one. Get the car rotated. Look how straight the steering wheel is. Hardly any movement on it.
Driving really, really well. Niklas Gronholm, look at this. But fastest up of the day, Ekstrom. So Gronholm losing time to Ekstrom, and you can see why Ekstrom just nailed in a 34.7. So track conditions now similar to yesterday.
Drying up, sun's out, it's getting quicker for sure. But I mean, Gronholm, I think they're doing a brilliant job with our Hyundai now. They've got to do 2 clean runs through the Joker. Looks good so far.
Ekstrom's aiming for 228.2. He's going to get it. 225.5. He smashed it. He didn't just get it, he destroyed it. 2.7 faster. Ekstrom, Gronholm, Loeb, Balmanis. So Loeb did just manage to edge Baumanis, even with the Joker, who was just 0.2 of a second ahead. We saw him, remember, pass Baumanis up at the first corner, but he had the Joker to do, and he got it done. So Loeb grabs P3 after that problem at the bottom of the hill, and of course it was Baumanis who he had the contact with down there, so there was definitely a bit of give and take in that one. Fantastic,
Loeb pulled back very well, actually. 34.8 he did, a quick lap.
Ekstrom takes it and is the fastest so far in Q3. Gronholm, Loeb, Baumanis, Schischrit. Let's have a look and see, was that race quick? Yeah, it was. So 4 of them into the top 8, but interestingly, Ekstrom and Gronholm, P1 and P2, there are just 5 cars to come. So this was the start. Schischrit, I said, didn't I, that the RPM didn't look right on the practice launch.
Yeah, look, on board with Loeb into turn 1. He's got cars on his inside. What's he doing? Where's he going to go? Where can he come out? Gets the power down. He will make it into third, but then down at the bottom with Baumanis a little bit later in this lap, he ends up going off.
We might see it now, Tim. So look in the background, Baumanis and Loeb. Look at that Loeb holding on. To be fair to Baumanis, you know, he was trying to have a look up the inside, but Loeb to come back from that far back and a visit to the gravel track. Look at this on board with Loeb. Whoa, and he reaches. Look, he's down the gears, Tim, as he's being fired off. Legend.
Down the gears, bang it in, and then boot it out, 4-wheel drive. He did a great recovery. Now, this is after the Joker for Baumanis, and Loeb's having none of it. He says, I'm having the inside this time.
Basically, kind of giving it back. It's like, you're going to claim it, I'm going to claim it, and then he managed to edge him by 0.2. But Ekstrom was tidy, no mistakes in the Joker. Gronholm behind him, they are first and second in Q3 so far.
Matthias, you're just watching the highlights with us right there. What can you tell us about that race from your perspective?
No, it was pretty exciting. Unfortunately, turn 1 was a little bit battling, but that's a part of the game here. So except for that, I think I had a decent run and no big mistake, but track evolution will play into hands now, and the other guys will for sure go faster. But I'm happy with my run, good start, so we can continue like this.
Yes.
Final race of Q3. Have a look at this. Kristoffersson, double World Rallycross champion. Andreas Backerud with Audi, third after Q2 in that fight for second in the Drivers' Championship. Petter Solberg, second after Q2, also, of course, a double World Rallycross champion. The Hansen brothers on the outside. Kevin, at the moment, the best of the Peugeots in fourth. Brand new boots all round for them. Can't wait for this. Will they be sensible and aim for the time? Or will adrenaline get the better of them? Turn 1 here, anybody can take it, and that means that sensible sometimes goes out the window. I don't mind either way, I'm sure you don't at home. Good start, Solberg, Kevin Hansen and Timmy Hansen on the outside too. Kristoffersson has lost the start, backwards shuts the door. Kristoffersson's in P5. Little tap from backward on Timmy Hansen. Kevin Hansen got around the outside. His brother with a bit of contact pushes him wide. Timmy versus Solberg on the run down to the bottom of the hill. So it's the the Volkswagen versus the Peugeot. Solberg's got the inside line, but Timmy shuts the door. Great recovery by Timmy Hansen.
Great recovery. Both the Hansen boys taking new tyres for this one, trying to improve their time. It was a bad start for Kristoffersson, though.
Kristoffersson's managed to get past Kevin. I think that's Kevin's little bit of contact on the exit of turn 1. So Kevin Hansen running in P5. Kevin's sensible enough to know that he can follow now and it won't matter. So I don't think he'll necessarily use Joker tactics to try and pass. Timmy runs wide. Solberg has a look but can't find enough space to get through.
Surprised Kristoffersson didn't take the Joker on lap 1 and give himself some clear track space.
Yeah, he could have done, couldn't he? And then chase them back down, particularly when you know these guys are all fast. So, okay, will anybody drop out of the line this time? Nobody took the Joker on the first lap. Kristoffersson on a big push. Overnight top qualifier. Is anybody going to go left here? No, they don't. So everybody on the standard lap. Tim, this is pretty typical of the top drivers going, do you know what? Doesn't matter. Everybody's quick. Time.
Yeah, but do you know what? Kristoffersson had nothing to lose by taking it, so he'd have got it out of the way. If they all follow each other into the Joker on the same lap, the way things have been going, somebody might get blocked.
Yeah.
So it might have been an advantage to take it.
That is a very, very good point, particularly when you're 4th or 5th in the train. Yeah, if you say, if one of the cars in front makes a mistake, you could stand to lose a ton of time. So, Solberg couldn't be closer to the barriers through here. Backward, Hansen, don't go. Solberg, Kevin, finally, Kevin Hansen goes. Kevin Hansen slots left into the Joker lap, and it's super tight. He was on the back of that train. He's doing a brilliant job this weekend. Can he get Kristoffersson?
Well, maybe, but like you say, they're all playing it a little bit safe. Timmy Hansen with the fastest lap of the day, 34.6. The track is getting getting quicker as it dries out.
Only a tenth, wasn't it? I think quicker than what Extra had done in the previous one, so maybe it's not going to be enough. The target time at the minute is 2:25.5. It's the final lap. Backrud looking to take it up and over the crest. He'll slot left into the joke lap. You see him go down a gear. Reaches for the handbrake in the right. Reaches for the handbrake in the left. His teammate Ekstrom is the current leader of Q3. There's the time to beat 2:25.5 over the line. 2:25.7. It's not enough. Kevin Hansen ends up at the back of the pack. Backrud 1/10 of a second back from his teammate Matthias Ekstrom. He's well happy with that. Well happy. EKS would love to keep the team's championship alive. I think it's a very, very long shot for them with a huge lead for PSRX, but either way, a win is a win, and you can see from Backrud's fist pump, looking in the mirrors, yeah, those are the guys you've beaten, and they are very good indeed. Not quite enough to get his teammate Extra, but Backrud is very, very happy with that. As a result then, Andreas Backrud takes the last race of Q3, 2:25.7. Hansen, Solberg, Kristoffersen, Kevin Hansen, and here's where they slot in. Ekstrom wins it, 2:25.5. So it's an Audi 1-2, Peugeot 3rd, Gronholm 4th, Solberg and Kristoffersen 5th and 6th. So people have done some work overnight. This is going to be very exciting indeed. Tim Harvey.
Yeah, two Peugeots with brand new tyres on. This is Solberg. Look, he and Kristoffersen didn't get good starts up into the corner. It opens up a little bit on the inside for Solberg, but round the outside they come.
Yeah, good job by Backrud. Tiny bit of contact between him and Timmy, but not in a vicious way. And Kevin unlucky there. You can see he had the car rotated, but a bit like Liam, rear wheels on the gravel. And then his brother's car was just where he wanted to be. And you can't predict where the others are going to be when you try around the outside. Where are they? You don't know.
No, absolutely. And then it was a bit of a follow my leader, wasn't it? Backrud trying to just drive clean laps, really.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think it wouldn't have been bad for a couple of the guys at the rear to have gone, you know what, I'll joker early and see what happens. If you end up fourth still, it doesn't really matter.
No, nothing to lose.
So Backrud with a great job, but it's not quite enough to beat his teammate Ekstrom. It's an Audi 1-2 in Q3.
Andreas, great result. You look really pumped and happy with that, but we just saw Johan Kristoffersen getting quite aggressive with you. What happened?
Yeah, it's normal, you know, rallycross is rallycross. It's always tough out here, and a lot of adrenaline, especially when we enter you guys. So, I mean, that's fair. It's hard out here. It's the last two races of the year. Estering is unique in the way of being a real crazy rallycross track, especially with that first corner. So, a lot of stuff happens, and, well, first corner is always going to be the first corner. And I'm just happy that both Audi EKS are 1-2 in Q3, so feels very good. I'm happy.
Well done, Andreas.
Thanks.
Right, let's take a look at the standings after Q3. Kristoffersen still the top qualifier despite Q3 not really going his way. Solberg P2, Ekstrom is P3, so he moves up because Backrud was there last night. Then it's Hansen, Kevin Hansen, Nicholas Grommel, Sebastian Loeb is down in P8. Ericsson, Markland, Baumanis, Schiescher. Look at Liam Doran. He needs to get in, but there's a little gap between Schiescher and Doran in the points. So Larsen, Timosyanov and Bennett, and there's a few more on page 3 too. Here we go then, some wonderful slow motion pictures from one of the drivers' favourite corners on the championship, turn 1, the infamous turn 1 at the Estering. Tim Harvey, Andreas Backrud here in the Audi, gravel to tarmac, back to gravel. Great job on this particular attempt.
Yeah, fast approach, difficult to get the car lined up from depending on where you're coming from, but he gets the car early rotation, lines it up using all the 600 horsepower. Look, the wheel's absolutely straight as he faces down the road to get maximum traction.
Peter Solberg, fellow Norwegian. Look how thin the panels are to save the weight. You can see as it wobbles over. And looking at the rear wheel, Tim.
Yeah, just slowing the car down, maybe a touch on the handbrake to initiate the rotation, then gets the car starting. Now look, all four wheels driving, all the control inputs the driver uses, steering, braking, throttle, all being used perfectly in unison.
Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Fully rotated before you can even see the apex. He's not even into the corner at that point. This is Larsen, who actually had a big crash in practice, a 12 to 15 G impact. Glad to say that he and the car were okay. This was him not quite getting it right, and you can see that the difference in the exit speed, it's not quite there. Now we're going to take a look in a moment at the new Joker lap here as well. Larsen heading down that very long back straight. First of all, though, Markland in the very special GCK Renault Megane.
Yeah, a lot of technology in this Pro Drive built car. Inboard brakes, so they don't overheat because they're only going for 6 laps maximum.
Here is that Joker lap. So it's the same layout as before. It's been resurfaced, as you can see. There's actually a hard-packed gravel under the loose. This was a very early run in free practice. Matthias Ekstrom, but Tim, the key thing here is that wall right next to his front right wheel.
Yep, used to be tyres with a little bit of give. That concrete won't move 1 millimetre. It's only the car that will deform.
Yeah, Timotjanov found that out as well, unfortunately. This is Solberg.
Rear wheels locked up, getting the rotation done early. So important not to overdrive this Joker. Look how close he is to the tyres just there. Perfect judgment, absolutely perfect. Doesn't run too wide, so he can start to accelerate. All about the exit speed here.
Look at that, big steering input, waits for the car to transition and come back the other way and then on the gas again. And of course, that's the run up to the line. Remember, him versus Ekstrom to the line, 0.005 of a second. Your exit from the Joker lap is crucial.
Timmy Hansen doing the same thing, possibly even closer to the tyres there. Again, not running too wide, you can lose an awful lot of time. It's the slowest point on the whole circuit.
Fantastic, fantastic stuff. On then to Q4, and these are the standings as we go into the session. Kristoffersen top of the table from Solberg, Ekstrom, Backrud, Timmy Hansen, Kevin Hansen, Niklas Gronholm and Sebastian Loeb. The big story, though, is on page 2. So Liam Doran was in P13. You can see he's not now. That's because he was disqualified from Q1 for touching a button on the handbrake by accident. It has to be said, he ends up P20. On to Q4, and the first race was absolutely jam-packed with action. Cyril Raymond desperate for at least one good race. He's had a terrible weekend, not feeling very well. Alongside Kjetil Larsen on the way down towards turn 2. Come the breaking point, he looked like he'd left enough room, but there wasn't. There was a little bit of contact, and it's Cyril Raymond who ends up coming off worse out in the gravel. Ollie Bennett got through, so now Raymond's P3. What can he do? So he heads off towards the Joker lap, but behind Larsen. So he knows he's going to have to pass him if he wants to take the win. And in the background, you can see that's not going to happen because Larsen bogs on the exit of turn 1, and he ends up running into him and spinning again. Bad weekend for Raymond. In the bank there for Ollie Bennett. Ollie Bennett had dust on his windscreen for at least a lap before he managed to get the wipers to work. Merging there closely with René Munich. Larsen out front, managing to take the win. So yeah, let's take a look at the grid then for race 2 of Q4. Liam Doran on the inside, his teammate Shisha on the outside. As I say, needs not to stall. Doran in 20th. If you're wondering why, since Q3, they've disqualified him for Q1. Now that sounds strange, and that's because they've looked at the data on his car. He's touched the launch button whilst using the handbrake, and that means that they see that as traction control. It was an accident. They've seen the onboard. It was in turn 1. He touched it by accident, but still he gets disqualified. Timosjanov, Baumanis and Larsen in this one as well. I feel really sorry for Liam, Tim, because that's just one of those things. We've actually had Tommy Rustad was disqualified for the same thing in Barcelona a couple of years ago. It's not a deliberate attempt to cheat. The launch button is on the handbrake, and as you're about to see in turn 1, anything can happen there. He touched it by accident, but it probably means he's not going to make the semi. So Liam and Shisha with Hart, pretty decent starts, and finally Liam gets the whole shot. Actually, he was beaten off the line, but is he going to get through turn 1 first, or is Timosjanov going to be up his inside? Liam does get through it in the background. Baumanis has gone round. That is a disaster. Can he get inside Shisha? He can't. Contact between him and Shisha. Shisha was in P12 and Baumanis was in P11. Tim, this could open the door for the guys behind.
Absolutely, they were on the bubble, but as it was actually Liam that was the next man up that could have done it. Can he do anything for effectively 20th overall?
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? And that's a problem there for Larsen in the background too. So people making mistakes left, right and centre. Timosjanov coming through the Joker lap alongside Larsen. Trimmer's going to try and go around the outside. Can he pull that up on lap 2 side by side again? But no, Larsen is in front.
This is really bad, really, for GCK, isn't it, overall? Because the next few heats are going to be quicker, but on the bounce on that, it's great for Timosyanov.
It is indeed. Timosyanov is only 1 place behind Robin Larsson. Timosyanov saving now, though Doran's dropped down the standings thanks to that DQ from Q1. Contact in the background between Timosyanov and Larsson. Tim around the inside! Go on, Timmer, stick the nose in there!
Oh, yes.
God, have some of that! Brilliant pass! No one's passed there before!
That's the first one we've seen there all weekend. That was a great job.
Brilliant pass by Timosyanov. You can see the timing screen, dot at the top. As soon as they cross the loop, and he moves himself up ahead of Larsson. Absolutely brilliant. There you go. So Timosyanov chasing down Liam Doran. That will have cost him a bit of time, Tim, but that was a great, aggressive move. Timmer fighting for a place in the semi-finals.
Yeah, it's what we like to see, and it just shows what great rallycross circuit Estering is.
Liam Doran runs, Timosyanov runs a bit wide while Liam Doran goes into the Joker. Look at the sand on the gravel, from the gravel trap on the side of the road. Larsson had hooked a wheel on the way in. Timosyanov chasing down. They both joked with Liam and Timmer. So now it's about race time. 2:39.6 is the target, but remember that to win a session, you need around a 2:25. So 2:25 is what Liam needs to be getting towards to be right up the standings. I still think he'll struggle to make it, but then we have seen people having problems behind him. So Liam Doran, after a good time, it's a couple of seconds off the pace of the very top guys, but he wants to stop the clocks as soon as he can. 2:29.9, so 2:29.9 would have been enough for a top 10 time in the last session. 9.6 seconds faster.
With the track having been watered on the gravel, it is going to be slower and it will get quicker. But Liam couldn't have done any more. He got the start, he led every lap. That was as good as he could do.
Tricky for the British bomb this weekend. So unlucky with that DQ in Q1. Seen some fantastic pace from Liam Doran, and he takes this one 2:29.9. Timosyanov, can he capitalise on the problems for Baumanis and Shishrit, who were stuck at that first corner for a good 10-15 seconds, last in P3. All these guys on the cusp of the top 12. So at the minute it's Doran, Timosyanov and Larsson as your top 3 in Q4. Okay, having a look at the start, Tim. Liam on the way up there on the inside.
Yeah, he gets a great start. No one can move over on him. He carries the speed in. Timosyanov on the inside, but it coming out, and there's the spin, just contact, almost in the dust.
Shishrit ran into the back of Baumanis. I don't, he might get a reprimand for it, you never know, but Timosyanov, look at that, was for me was brilliant.
That was great.
It was, there's no room there, is there? With an Armco barrier on this side, you've got to have the kahunas to stick it on the inside.
Larsson was lucky not to go to wall.
Really, really strong overtake from Timosyanov. Love to see him go through to the semis. Liam Doran takes this one.
Liam, a great drive, a race win. How do you put that into perspective after what's just happened between Q3 and Q4?
Too little, too late. Honestly, like I'm stoked. We've had like amazing lap times all weekend. Like, the best event for me in a very, very long time in terms of performance. I really haven't had to push myself too hard, and I've been running top 4 lap times all weekend to be competing with the Volkswagens and the Audis, no problem at all, to be honest. And warm up this morning was fine. Lap times, yes, they were fine. Again, lap time in Q3 this morning, but Rallycross, you got to get the starts, and I've been starting P4, P5, Q1, 2 and 3, and clearly proven, and I get a good chance in Q4 on the pole. I got the lead and sort of maybe not ran away with it, but a good race, and it'll go fast. The conditions are going to dry out. It's really wet, but too little, too late. Like, yeah, car's been great, team's been great. What can I say? It's just luck of the draw, really, and I had it this weekend. I think we really had the pace to get to the final. Team's been working so hard, and I've been concentrating really hard. Just frustrating. It's going to come to nothing. But that disqualification in Q1, they disqualified me for touching the launch button when I pulled the handbrake, which clearly that's no advantage. It's a pure accident. If you look where it is, it's a pure accident, and I'm out of the event now. But part of it, it's that right here on top of the handbrake. You know, these cars are fast. You don't do everything perfectly all the time, and I touched the button by accident for about 1/10 of a second, and I'm out of the whole event because of that now. So that would have put me into the semis if it hasn't for that. So I'm happy. The performance is there. Like, we're working towards next year, and we're all of a sudden we're bang there. We're there. We're racing with the Volkswagens for lap times, and had a great weekend. It's been taken away from me a little bit, but it's what it is.
Well done, Liam.
Thanks.
Here's the grid for race 3 of Q4. Sebastian Loeb on the outside, Anton Markland inside him, Kevin Hansen in the middle next to Kevin Eriksson, two of our young guns, and the world champion on the inside, having not got the best result in Q3, but as you can see, is first after Q3, thanks to his efforts yesterday. Everybody on used tyres, so they've either used them all or are saving new ones for the semi-finals.
Saving them. It'd be interesting, did you pick up on the fact that Kristoffersen said it was difficult to launch off pole position?
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see how he does it this time. This is exactly where he was when he had the incident with Backlund.
Will Eriksson be able to shut the door on him? Long old goal, wasn't it? Brilliant start. Sebastian Loeb, slot number 5. Kristoffersen claims the road immediately, not having any of that. Kevin Hansen sideways around the outside. Kristoffersen looking all the way up the inside. World champion driving there from Kristoffersen. He's up the inside Loeb, and I will be staggered if he doesn't take the whole shot down at turn 2. Look at that, incredibly late on the brakes. Loeb going to shut the door and slot in behind him, nowhere else to go.
Yeah, a world champion does make the same mistake twice, does he? He got a good launch, no one was in front of him, he pressured it on the inside in turn 1.
That's the thing, he claimed that road tip, he literally took 2.5 cars widths on the run towards the wall. You'll have a look at that in the replays in a minute. Into the joke lap goes Markland. So Markland runs the car up wide, gives himself a little bit of space from these guys who are battling. Hansen looking up the inside of Eriksson. Another great move. Kevin Hansen, fantastic move up the inside of Kevin Eriksson. Kevin Eriksson with contact all the way down the hill. He won't be happy, but again, as long as Kevin... Oh, they ride up. Kevin Hansen rides up. You saw the front of the car lift in the dust. Somehow still holds on.
Yeah, with wheels touching each other. That's the same as happened with
Baumanis and Loeb, yeah.
The wheels riding over each other, but they keep going, and Hansen's driving really well.
So Kevin Hansen claims the position of Kevin Eriksson. Kristoffersen Loeb out front, still circulating without having to make those moves. Here you are on board with Loeb following Kristoffersen, and these guys, they're gonna benefit from the fact that the others are having little squabbles.
Yeah, exactly. They'll probably follow each other now, won't they, and get a good time out of it. They had their fighting into turn 1, and it's Kristoffersen that came out on top of it.
Kevin up towards that super committed area. There he is, Kristoffersen through. Does Loeb go Joker?
He's got space to do it. He doesn't take it, but he had space behind to maybe take it.
The top 4 yet to Joker, and Anton Markland, look, is right on the back of them. So Anton Markland is up with Kevin Hansen and Kevin Eriksson here, and could stand to benefit massively.
Could get third, couldn't he? If they hold each other up a little bit, he doesn't done another good quick lap. Markland could get third, and he could be the one to get through into the semis.
Yeah, GCK need a little bit of luck, don't they, with one of the cars. It might still make it, but with that stall, or certainly with the problem in turn 1, maybe not. Kristoffersen will go Joker this time. Watch the nose of the Polo, lets it drip wide, followed in by Loeb. Into the left-hander, 2:29.9 is the target time. It's still slippery out there because it's not that much quicker. But okay, it is 2:27.1. And who's going to get it? Super close. Kevin Hansen beats Anton Markland at the line by 0.2 of a second, or 1/10 of a second, pretty much. While Kristoffersen is 2.8 seconds faster than Liam Doran. So a good drive by Johan, very forceful at turn 1 to claim that position. And a 2:27.1 is closer to the ultimate pace. Will the track be dry for that last run? Loeb P2. Kevin Hansen just gets Markland. Look how close it was. And then Kevin Eriksson in P5. Kristoffersen and Loeb up to the top of the table. Liam Doran and Timosyanov are right up there too. So Liam might have made the semis. Can Timosyanov make it? So Kristoffersen on the inside gets a good launch. Tim, go for it.
Yeah, no one alongside him apart from Loeb, the fastest starts around the outside. And Loeb thought he had it covered, but no, Kristoffersen this time forced the issue, manages to come out alongside. Here we are, side by side, down into turn 2. No way Loeb could get across in front of Kristoffersen.
Brilliant stuff, and in the background, you actually saw Kevin Hansen and Kevin Eriksson coming together on the straight the first time down there. So there's a little bit of, yeah, you gave me that, you can have some back. Now watch them at the bottom, you're not going to see them, bottom of the straight. Fired the car up into the air. Kristoffersen, though, with a tidy drive. I say that the track conditions are developing just a little bit, and there are 5 cars still to come to settle qualifying.
Johan, that's exactly what you needed, and a nice fight with Loeb, but you got out in front.
Yeah, it was okay. I had a good launch from slot 1, as good as I think I can get. And from there on, you know, it's always difficult in the first corner, but I get upside of Sebastian, and then Peugeot is incredibly fast on the straight, but I just managed to outbrake him in the bottom, and then I had one small mistake and I was not driving perfectly, and the track evolves for every lap. You can feel that it's getting faster and faster from lap to lap, so we'll see how it is. But anyway, this one I think will secure a front row and maybe even pole position for one of the semis.
Well done, thanks, Johan.
Thank you.
Q4, race 4, here's your lineup. The two Audis on the inside, having been P1 and P2. They're currently P3 and P4 after Q3, but they were fastest in Q3. So they're looking at front row slots. They'd like a win here in Germany, wouldn't they? Interestingly, Backerud's gone for new boots here, so is he not saving some for later? Same for Solberg on the outside. Look, Niklas Gronholm and Timmy Hansen completing the lineup. Solberg has a glance across at the lights. You had your money on him, Tim, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. It depends a little bit on this start. Remember, the team's championship is up for grabs as well. But let's see what Solberg can do from the outside.
It was a good start slot for Sebastian Loeb. Oh, Solberg has to dip the clutch, but somehow he's still level with the three on the inside. Oh, Hansen sideways, picks up Ekstrom on the inside. Nothing that can be done there. That was a racing incident. Backerud alongside Hansen. Ekstrom on the outside. Timmy Hansen's going to come out of this with a hole shot. Backerud's going to slide to P2. His teammate Ekstrom has a look up the inside at the bottom of the straight, but he thinks better of it. Solberg's ended up down in P5. Solberg's car was moving around. I don't know if he's got a problem or not, but it's Timmy Hansen who leads this.
Near disaster as the three cars got together on the approach to race to corner 1, but they're all still going. It's Timmy Hansen that grabbed the opportunity and took the lead. Solberg came off worst.
Gronholm's got Joker on lap 1. Timmy Hansen, if it hadn't been for Ekstrom's car outside him, where he had contact from the inside, I actually think Ekstrom's car saved him from going off. But as I say, I don't blame anyone in that. We'll have another look at the replays in a minute. Hansen then with a chance here to show how quick that Peugeot is.
Yeah, we know it's quick, but yeah, you're right. He pushed each other straight, didn't they, at the end of it? But Solberg with those new tyres on, he's going to set fast time now.
I think what's fascinating about this place here is that, you know, okay, we saw great results from Volkswagen yesterday, but they also got the good starts. And now suddenly we saw Audi with a couple of good starts. Solberg's got Joker, and now we've seen a Peugeot with a clear run. You've got to get the start.
But it's so random. It doesn't matter where you start. I mean,
Gronholm's got Solberg, so Solberg's joking, and Gronholm stayed in front of him. So Solberg was hoping to get in front of Gronholm, but Gronholm's done a quick enough lap to hold him off. Brilliant.
Yeah, by doing it first lap, that suited Gronholm perfectly. I think Gronholm's been really punching above his weight. That Hyundai, okay, it's been developed throughout the year, but remember, that's a rally car base.
Brand new car as well this year. You know, they've only had 11 events. They've been testing on event. They didn't get much pre-event testing, so such a good job by Pinamaki, Marcus Gronholm, running the GRX team. There he is, Solberg's all over the back, but Solberg's wise enough to know unless the door's open, he won't have a crack at it. He's not going to lose much time here. And Gronholm doesn't leave the door open either. So, Timmy Hansen leading from Backerud and Ekstrom, those three yet to take the Joker lap. There's Backerud with Ekstrom behind him, 2:27.1 is the target time. Timmy Hansen will go to the Joker now. Just a little rut up at the top of the Peugeot, straight on the brakes. Handbrake into the left-hander, he's inch perfect. He's chasing it down. Timmy Hansen aiming for the win in Q4. 2:25.8. Hansen takes it 1.2 seconds faster, and Timmy Hansen and Peugeot have won the final qualifying session here at the Estering. The Peugeot is fast, and the semi-finals are going to be great. Fantastic drive by Timmy Hansen. He takes the win here in Q4 overall, not just his race. Backerud is second. Ekstrom, Gronholm, Solberg, 2:25.8. Compared to the rest of the weekend, he's right up there. We've had 2:24 as the fastest yesterday in Q2, but the other ones have 2:25.8. Brilliant. So Hansen from Backerud, Kristoffersen, Ekstrom. Solberg's down in P8. Loeb, Gronholm, Doran, that was 7th quickest. That would have been enough to get Doran into the semi-finals, and it's not going to happen. So Timmy Hansen wins the session, and we're going to find out very soon where that will put all these guys for the semi-finals. The front row here is crucial.
Here we go, on board with Gronholm, a repeat. Look at that start. Solberg actually had 2 goes at it, somehow still managed to get across front. Now we see the contact just in front, in the dust. Gronholm sensibly goes to the inside, comes out. Still 3 cars in front of him abreast. Here's a better angle of it. all pushed wide. Solberg at the back, nowhere he can go.
Brilliant stuff, wasn't it? Gronholm had a grandstand seat there of all the action into turn one. Good tactics by him to joker early. Solberg went one lap later, and impressive that he didn't allow Solberg to get the overlap. In that one lap, Gronholm was fast enough not to get edged by Solberg. Remember here, it's only a short joker, so he's had to do a really good job to hold on. Timmy Hansen with a very, very tidy joker lap took the checker flag, and with it, takes Q4. Great drive, Hansen, and a win in the session for Peugeot.
Timmy, you've won qualifying for what must be the best time to pull out a performance like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a crazy turn one. Petter had a brilliant start on the outside, and I think he thought he was free. But actually, when he turned in, he hit me quite hard, put all the cars together in a big carnage. I thought I would crash. Finally, I got the car turned in right, and on the handbrake on the inside in turn one, and between the two Audis, they hit me a bit on the straight, better than usual. And no, it was a good carnage there. I'm happy everyone could still finish the race. Then, of course, the 4 laps, I had to refocus. My dad, my spotter, he was pushing me hard on the radio. I had a brilliant run. I'm enjoying this track so much. And yeah, these were 4 great laps.
Well done, Timmy.
Thank you.
Okay, let's take a look at the standings after Q4 here at the Estering. Johan Kristoffersson takes the TQ. Andreas Baccarat is alongside him. Timmy Hansen and Matthias Ekström. Then it's Solberg, Gronholm, Kevin Hansen and Sebastian Loeb. Then Markland, Eriksson, Baumanis, Larsen makes it through. Gulan Schiesserit and Timosyanov just missing out. Look how close the points were on the right-hand side. Larsen, Bennett and everyone else below don't make it through. Massive crowd here, capacity crowd of 22,500 people enjoying some fantastic action from qualifying in Supercar. Of course, they've still got the semi-finals and the final to come. We've just been watching the Super 1600 semi-finals here live, and that title is going to go down to the wire. So the European champion for Super 1600 will be decided live on your televisions in between the semi-finals and the final. Neil Cole's down in the pre-grid, and I think he's managed to find Niklas Gronholm.
Niklas, you're mixing it up with the factory teams, and it looks like you're really enjoying this circuit here in Estering.
Yeah, it's been quite okay. Steady throughout the weekend, and good starting position for the semi-final. So, yeah, everything's going good.
And talk us through this circuit, because there's it's very dynamic, there's a lot of elevation. How do you get the perfect lap here?
Well, I think it's about being aggressive in some points and then really calm in some places. You know, it's a few corners are really slippery and there's no high grip places, so it's just to find the good rhythm and stay in the clean line and push.
And actually the car looks really neat and tidy. Lots of the other cars have got bits of damage on them, but yours looks like it's hardly been touched this weekend.
Yeah, I think the worst is the windscreen and the front bumper when I've been behind someone. But yeah, I've stayed out of trouble, and that's my goal for the semi also.
Good luck, and hopefully see you in the final.
Yes, thanks.
Great job by Gronholm, qualified 6th here. That equals his best performance from this year. He was 6th in Spain and in Norway as well. Love to see him make it through to the final. Where's he had? I think he was 4th, wasn't he? Gronholm was 4th in Latvia, so he'd love to get a podium. He was also 4th in Spain, so he's had a really, really good season. I know we keep talking about it, but if you've watched all year, you will know how much he's improved along with that new car. Petter Solberg so nearly took the win last time out at Circuit the Americas. Quick handshake for the mechanics. Tap on the roof there. Nice bit of camaraderie, Tim.
Yeah, it's great. And of course, totally different dynamic. Now we come to the 6-lap semi-final race. They're not lined up, obviously, side by side. We've got grid rows. Big advantage to be on the front row, big advantage to be on the inside. And, of course, just the top 3 from each semi go through to the final.
Can't wait. Gronholm says he aims to keep it clean. You know, he's on a middle row, so in theory, that gives him the opportunity to do that, but this is the Estering. And turn 1 here is infamous. And anything can happen. Hello from Germany. We are at Buxtehude. This circuit is the Estering. Turn 1 is incredible. We've had brilliant racing so far all weekend, and we are looking forward to the semi-finals and the final. My name is Andrew Coley. Joining me on commentary, Tim Harvey, British touring car legend, you know that, but massive rallycross fan as well. Neil Cole is down in the paddock reporting from there, and the spotters tower as always. I say, absolutely amazing racing so far. If you've missed it, go and check it out. It's on YouTube and Facebook. You can see every session. You can go back and watch them. You've missed some brilliant stuff, so do check it out, but not now, because semi-finals and finals are coming up. Let's take a look at how we got to this point. So here are the standings as we come into the semi-finals. Kristoffersen taking the TQ spot. That is his 17th ever top qualifier. It is his 7th in 2018, which breaks another record. Incredible. Bakkerud, P2. Hansen, P3. Ekstrom, P4. Interesting. Volkswagen, Audi, Peugeot look for the top 3. They're all quick here. This is up for anyone. Solberg down in 5th is going to be on row 2. Gronholm, Hansen, Loeb. Then you've got Markland, Eriksson, Baumanis and Larsen. And there you go, you can see your rows. So Kristoffersen versus Hansen in semi-1, Bakkerud versus Ekstrom in semi-2. I suspect semi-2 will be somewhat more sensible than semi-1 based on the fact the two teammates are on the front row. Kevin Eriksson's in there. We've got around the outside man. We've got Kevin Hansen, Niklas Gronholm. So many people that would like to take a win here in Germany. One of those, of course, is Petter Solberg, who Neil Cole caught up with earlier.
Petter, on the verge of winning the team's championship, but of course you've got your own semi and hopefully final to run. What's your mindset right now?
For sure, the team championship is a very big goal of mine. You know, it's very, very important for the future and what we do. And for my own sake, I really want to fight for the second place. A little bit unlucky in the last heat in the first corner, but same time I have to do the best I can, and then we will see how far we go. But enjoy driving. The car has been fantastic today on the track, so we will see. Yeah, the team championship, it's good, but I don't have that in my mind just now. I'm more on the semi-final. Yeah.
And you're on the second row of the grid, but in the inside slot. Give us an idea of what that grid position can do into turn 1.
It can go both ways. It depends what the guys in front do, you know, closing off or whatever. And it's not a bad start line, you know, but you know, you have to be smart. That's the thing, and hopefully that everything goes well after the first corner, and then after that we just have to push on.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks.
Solberg seems quite happy being on the second row, Tim. You know, you'd like to be on the front row from the point of view of having the choice. But again, you know, the driver's been saying all weekend, you just get picked up by people who are late on the brakes anyway. So this first corner, I can't reiterate enough how much of a lottery it is.
Yeah, but because he starts on the second row on the inside, behind his teammate Kristoffersen, there's the opportunity to tag on his bumper into turn 1, stay on the inside, get the run down to turn 2. They could be 1 and 2 out of turn 2, but you know, they have got Timmy Hansen, who's already proved he can come out the first corner first, so it's not going to be easy, but some teamwork will operate, I'm sure.
Yeah, there has been some very hard racing, most of it fair, few unhappy people. Let's find out what's going to happen in the next one, shall we? Here we go then, semi-final number 1, about to get underway. 3 people going to book a slot in the final. Round 11, the 2018 FIA World Rallycross Championship. 3 people will take no further part. Will Solberg be one of them? Last year, he was top qualifier with all those broken bones. He hasn't managed that this year, but he's certainly in the hunt. Kevin Hansen's been brilliant. Look at it, it's a grid full of rallycross talent. The double world champion, Kristoffersen, on the front row. Next to him, Timmy Hansen, and new boots for Kristoffersen. That should give him a good launch. Row number 2, Petter Solberg won't do anything to take out Johan in front of him, especially as PSRX Volkswagen Sweden want to tie up the team's title. Kevin Hansen, likewise, should try to avoid Timmy, but you never know. Bringing up the rear, Anton Markland and Yannis Baumanis. They will not be worrying about taking out anyone because they are on their own, fighting for themselves. Markland, the only GCK car to make it through to the semis, and he has new boots too. Whoa. Interesting with the 2 Volkswagens and the 2 Peugeots inside and outside of the first 2 rows. Hansen and Baumanis, Kevin Hansen that is, with an opportunity to have a look around the outside. Likewise for Timmy on the front row. Oh, great start, Solberg took it up massively, gets short, door shut from both sides. Timmy Hansen tries again. Solberg, though, is firmly up the inside this time. Kevin Hansen around the outside, contact between Solberg and Kristoffersson. Oh, massive shot in the background. Baumann is up the wall. Mark and Timmy Hansen's car is in bits. He's hit everyone and everyone's hit him. Somebody's facing the wrong way round at the top. It's Markland. Markland and Timmy Hansen are definitely out of this. And wow.
Carnage already. I mean, that started off with Solberg getting an absolute lightning start and trying to thread the needle between Hansen and Kristoffersson. But they did come out of the corner first and second, as I thought, but it was not the way I predicted.
No, that was way more carnage than I thought it was going to be. Looking forward to seeing the replays. That's the only way we're going to pick it out of that. But yeah, Solberg just couldn't find the gap, and the dust as well. So Solberg chasing Kristoffersson down towards the bottom of the hill. Perfect result so far for Volkswagen. This is really strong for the team's targeting, which is important to them.
It's hugely important. Manufacturer and team stakes and mean a great deal, especially at this slight term of uncertainty in WRX.
Certainly here at the Estering. Kevin Hansen doing a great job in P3. I don't know about you, but as Kevin, I'd be tempted to Joker now because he can protect himself and claim his theirs. Timmy, look at that with the car massively battle-scarred. So there was a lot of contact at the rear. I don't even know where Markland is. Is he parked or is he continuing? Markland is showing us out on the timing screen, so he hasn't passed us here. He hasn't passed the start-finish line. Yeah, I mean, look at the car. But yeah, Kevin Hansen, he did Joker now and protect himself from Baumann. Or do you follow the two Volkswagens?
Well, we got more options in a six-lap race, obviously, but I think you're right. It probably would pay him to do the Joker now. He's still quick, look. He's been quick all weekend. He's staying with the two VW Golfs.
You wonder, don't you, if he's trying to see exactly what they're doing and see if he can pick up anything that might be beneficial in the final. At the minute, he knows he's going to get a spot. Third gear for Solberg, and that shows you how much momentum. Yes, it's a hairpin, but it's fast.
Yeah, very low gear these cars for maximum acceleration, so although it's a slow corner, it's not the slowest. The Joker is actually the slowest corner on the track.
Kristoffersson leads from Solberg and Kevin Hansen. Only Timmy Hansen has taken his Joker, and he's far too far back unless we have some mechanicals out front. Look how evenly matched Solberg and Kristoffersson are. Kevin goes Joker, finally. Kevin's gone Joker, and he's increased the gap back to Baumann. So Peugeot waiting just a little bit longer to guarantee it him. They don't want Baumann hitting him up at turn one, and Kevin, unless he has a major problem, and he's a little bit deep there, is going to book a slot in the semis.
Yeah, and that's the final, and that's the most important thing. He will get through.
Kristoffersson and Solberg still 1-2. A very, very familiar sight this year. I'm just looking at Kevin Hansen's results this year. He's had a fourth and a couple of sixth places. So I think this is going to be his fourth final of the year. Kristoffersson sets the fastest lap of the day and then promptly Jokers. So Kristoffersson looking to cover off Solberg. My goodness me, I thought he was going to come back out after the Joker. And look how close he is, Tim. Epic.
Yeah, he is. And Solberg will take this lead temporarily before he Jokers, but they don't need to be that close. You saw Markland's car parked up the side in the dust. That could be a bit dangerous, but they all know it's there now.
First time we've seen it parked there, isn't it? Which is a sign of how much dust there is. Kristoffersson is so close to the back of Solberg. That fastest lap gave him just enough time to put himself in a position to be able to cover Solberg off. And now Kristoffersson won't make a mistake, and this will be relatively clean for him. So on the exit over the line, Kristoffersson takes semi-final one from Solberg. The gap is not much, it's only a second, and Kevin Hansen goes through to the final. Baumann comes through with a battle-scarred start machine, and Timmy Hansen in the background. There's no front end left on this at all, so Hansen in the Peugeot, loads of trouble up into turn one, and won't make it through, but the world champion does. He's hunting his 8th win in a row, his 10th in a season. Unprecedented dominance from Kristoffersson.
But his first ever if he does it at Estering.
Yeah, this is his bogey track, and there is a long way to look at what happened in turn one there. That can happen in the final two. So Kristoffersson, Solberg, both the Polos are through row one and row two. Kevin Hansen through in third place until Markland is parked up at the side of the track, and Timmy and Yanis with fairly well beaten up cars. Johan is off the track already, and he is with Neil Cole.
Johan, Petter seemed to get a much better start, but you shut that door and then led all the way.
Yeah, I had a very good launch, and from there on I had new tires, great pace. I had a big impact in the first corner, so the steering wheel was not really perfect, but on this track you can survive with some damaged cars, so yeah, it was all fine. And on this track there is always hard battles, and I think from people watching, and people are getting mad at stoplights, giving finger to each other and go on the horn. That's sometimes how we also feel in the car, but for sure it's nice to have a good launch, and now from front row I will see what I can do.
See you in the final.
Thank you.
Kristoffersson referring to being a bit cross himself earlier on today. Solberg, look, gets between them, but you know they're entitled to shut the door. That's what they do. So let's see who gives Kristoffersson the big hit. I think it's Solberg on the exit. There it is.
Yeah.
And it's not. Yeah. Again, it's with no malice, no intent. Here we go, Tim.
Here's another angle. Solberg's on the inside. You can't see what happens in the dust there.
Timmy's into Kevin and bounces back off into Markland, who then puts Baumanis in the wall. So again, I think racing into, and then here really. It looked like Markland's on a big, you know, sideways one.
Yeah, I think he probably broke the rear suspension, couldn't steer it properly. This is Solberg just staying in front of Kristoffersson after Kristoffersson jokers. Kristoffersson saying as close as he possibly can to him, so that when he takes the joker now, Solberg does, he can still remain in front.
Well, I'm amazed how close they were at the end, because when Kristoffersson was so close to Solberg, I'm thinking, wow, okay, he's on the back bumper, and when they joker, it'll be clear, but actually he wasn't, so the joker lap is looking like a second. So you're going to have to be absolutely certain that you've got that door shut if you want to take the win. Swedes up in the stands will be pleased with that. Kristoffersson through, there we go. What did you see earlier, Tim? Was it Hollius on tour?
Hollius on tour, yeah.
Right, we're going to take a look at Solberg's start. So this is Solberg with their absolutely incredible start. Now, Johan said he'd got a great start, but Tim, it was nothing like this.
No, I don't actually think they closed the door. I just think he had his nose in between the two. Look at that, right away, instantly, in between. It was just no room. They were just pinching in. Timmy's obviously trying to get across anyway.
They wouldn't even have expected him to be there, because a car, in theory, to come from that far back to in between you, like, there won't be anyone there, I'll just squeeze across. And you're not looking in the mirrors there, Tim. You might up in the way into turn one, but not that much.
Well, Solberg's been having good reactions already this weekend. He's been one of the best reactors to the lights going off. He's back to full health now. He's had this year of lung problems, but he's now 100%. And we saw at Kota, and we're seeing here, he's right back to the Petter Solberg we know best.
Now, watch Timmy Hansen this one. Kevin Hansen gets a way better start than Timmy. Solberg puts Timmy and Kevin together. Kevin now goes around the outside. Timmy goes for the inside line. No contact that I can see for Timmy, but he gets on the gas, hits Kevin, bounces off, hits Markland and Baumanis, and I say, but then, okay, did Timmy then push Markland into a spin? He might get a reprimand for that, I think.
But I don't know whether Markland was accelerating at full throttle or had a problem. Timmy thought he was going and he wasn't. Yeah, could have been a lot of reasons.
So he's committed to the gas, hoping that Markland's sideways business is going to allow him through, and it doesn't happen. So back with Solberg again at the end of the first lap. So that did not play out according to people's plans, did it? Because, Solberg wouldn't have wanted to hit Kristoffersson in turn one. No. Kevin and Timmy had contact twice. Yeah. And then obviously the guys at the back weren't able to capitalise on anything.
But, they're going for that all-important top three position. Nothing else will do in this race, so you have to attack.
You do indeed. And, of course, these guys were lucky because they basically ended up knowing it was only Kevin who was in any kind of trouble at all there, and not really in trouble, just needed to gap Baumanis a bit. Neil Cole is with Pernilla Solberg from PSRX Volkswagen Sweden.
Well, Pernilla, first and second in that semi for Johan and Petter, but they were sort of battling a little bit between them. How was it to watch it from up here?
It was nerve-wracking, of course. We had, the first corner here, on any track it's exciting, but especially on this track, it's well known for the first corner. So that was just to try and survive and see how they came out. And Petter had a very good start from second line. So then to see them 1 and 2 and sort of controlling the race was really, really nice. And then a very good battle to the end.
Well done, thank you.
Thank you.
There's the Monster Energy rig up on the top of the hill, packed with fans, and they'll have some sort of special access because it's a very, very good view up there. And they're going to get a very, very good view of what's coming up next. Well, you saw what happened at the start of semi-final number 1, and that was with 2 Volkswagen teammates and 2 Peugeot teammates. We've now got 2 Audi teammates on the front row, so can Ekstrom and Baccarat do something a little bit more sensible in turn 1? What kind of a launch can Sebastian Loeb get? Will there be a launch like we saw from Solberg from row 2? Look, it's Gronholm who's in that position. Has that slot got a bit more grip?
Yeah, but look, also the two Audis are actually lined up quite far apart. If anything, there's a bigger gap in the middle there for Gronholm, and you'll be looking at that thinking, this could be good.
Andreas Backerud on pole position, his teammate Matthias Ekström alongside him. New front tyres for Ekström. Gronholm looking for that hole between them. Sebastian Loeb hoping to go around the outside. And on the back row, Ericsson and Larsen. Ericsson's not in a good place there for around the outside, but I'll bet you they'll be sideways anyway. Okay, semi-final number 2. Good to go. Let's see if these guys can keep it a little bit cleaner. Bit of desperation maybe in semi-1. Doesn't all need to be done at the start. Gronholm with another brilliant launch, just like Solberg got. He gets alongside Backerud, but Ekström's in front. Ekström's going to shut the door. Ekström and Backerud side by side. Has Ekström been given the lead there by Backerud? We know he's in the fight, but Gronholm's up the inside. Gronholm's got past Backerud, and it's Gronholm P2. He now goes to the outside, because has Ekström got a problem? He was super slow away from turn 1.
No, he just had got on a bit of the loose stuff. Gronholm absolutely perfect. You know what? I think there's more grip on race 2 because Gronholm repeated what Solberg did.
Absolutely. So that could be crucial in the final as well. Gronholm, Backerud there for me. We know Ekström's in this fight for P2 in the series, and he's told me twice this weekend in press conferences, I might have to help Matthias. That's the sensible thing to do, but in doing so, I think he's given up P2 to Gronholm, but now he looks to take it back. Backerud up the inside of Gronholm. Gronholm's going to drop back. One of the IMSC cars alongside is Kevin Eriksson gets Gronholm. Loeb's down in P5.
Yeah, Gronholm got mugged there up at turn 1, left enough of a gap for Backerud to get through, and that was a real opening.
Loeb's got him too, so Loeb gets him at the bottom of the hill. P2 to P5 in 1 lap, and it goes Gronholm. I think Joker time for him straight away. If he wants to make himself any space. He's dropped off the back of the pack, and Gronholm does go Joker at last in the background, seemingly unable to find the pace. Gronholm's going to come out in that same position. Now he's got to chase them back. He was right with them, Tim. He's got to put in laps like we've seen him do this weekend if he wants to stand a chance.
Yeah, and if there's no battle for second really at the moment, they hold each other up. That could let Gronholm get back. He's got clear track in front of him to do his time.
So Ekström, Backerud, Eriksson and Loeb. Looking good for Ekström, but these next 3, and don't count Gronholm out of certainly a P3 in this one. Going to come down to Joker tactics. When do you send them? So none of them have gone this time. They've all got standard lap. And we can tell you that because the competition left of our window 10 metres away as the turning in point. Tim, it's such a good vantage point.
One of the best all year. Absolutely brilliant. Gronholm is looking neat and tiny, though. We'll have to watch again. Remember, the Joker's a little bit slower around this course, but 3rd is what he needs.
He does indeed. At the moment, we think it was about a second previously, so he's going to have to get a bit nearer to these guys. Look at Eriksson, absolutely pinpoint accurate on the barrier while sliding the rear of the car. Backerud coming over those bumps. Eriksson, Loeb, and is anybody going to go this time? Still, they don't go. So Loeb wants to make it in. He's going to have to go before Eriksson because otherwise Eriksson's going to cover him off on the track.
Yeah, I totally agree. And but he can see Gronholm, who's close up behind. This is Loeb. Look how they're holding each other up. Gronholm's coming, and Loeb's worried if he took it, he'd be bugged by Gronholm.
He's right. So to Loeb up the inside. It's in the wall. Loeb's in the wall with Eriksson. Eriksson goes wide. Loeb has gone through. Gronholm's going to be on the back of these guys. This has opened the door for Gronholm. These two. Loeb's out. Loeb pulls off the side of the road. Broken steering. Sebastian Loeb is gone. It's back on for Gronholm. On board with Loeb as he stops. Who goes Joker? Eriksson's gone Joker. Watch for Gronholm in the background. This is Gronholm versus Eriksson. Potentially replacing the semi-finals. Gronholm's through.
Yes, he's done it. Helped out. As I said, the racing was holding them up. Loeb had that huge top speed of the Peugeot down the back straight, but there just wasn't room to get across.
Oh, incredible. He went for the gap. I'm glad he went for the gap. We don't want to see people not go for the gap, but I can't help thinking that Joker lap tactics might have been a more sensible and safer way to do it.
I totally agree. They were fighting amongst themselves when they didn't need to.
Ekström into the Joker to go to the front row in the final versus Christophersen. Volkswagen versus Audi in Germany. Ekström is through. P2 to Backerud. Both the Audis are in. And Gronholm goes through in P3, second to fifth. And Redemption back to 3rd. Great great semi-final.
That was a great semi-final, and you know, Loeb, remember, is one of the 4 guys battling for second place.
Fastest lap of the day, Tim Gronholm. You said he was pushing hard.
Absolutely fantastic. I mean, the track's in great condition, yeah, but Loeb, the disappointment. He's lost points. He won't get into the final. He's battling for second place in the championship.
Ekstrom takes it from Baccarat and Gronholm. Disaster for Loeb, as Tim pointed out. He was in that fight for P2. Is that going to hurt him with just 1 round left to go for the drivers' runners-up spot? Larson and Ericsson don't make it. Ericsson after the contact with Loeb. Wow. Okay, here's the onboard from Loeb. Tim.
He's on the outside, looking across, probably in car, trying to work out where he can slot in. There's Gronholm up the inside, the door open there. He went through into second, and we thought, great job. Look, he nearly got first.
It looked to me like Ekstrom tried to back him up down the straight. It didn't work out though. Watch as Gronholm comes through. Watch Ekstrom move to the inside, yeah? And then it's almost like, you see this? Then, I don't know if he brakes or not. It's like he's backed him up. Gronholm's like, no chance, sunshine. And then this, good move from Baccarat.
Yeah, excellent move. That was where we thought, oh, Gronholm's really lost it now, because he's looking like he's going to lose 2 places as Loeb comes down the inside.
Yeah, I think it could be. The trouble is, you need to see how far up the inside he was to know whether he would feel aggrieved about that, Tim, because if you're 100% up the inside, you can't be putting the wall. What's your thoughts?
Do you know what? With the visibility the way it is there, the bumpy track and everything, well, yeah.
He's about 75% up the inside. He was 100% up the inside after he bounced off the wall twice, but I mean that maybe doesn't count. So, okay, well, unlucky for Sebastian Loeb, but that is a great result for Audi with a 1-2 in semi-final number 2.
Yanni, couldn't have gone much better for the EKS 1 and 2 in the semi, and you stayed out of trouble in turn 1.
Yeah, it was as we planned it, but it very rarely go as you plan. But then it was a bit of casino behind us, so yeah, it went well.
And the pace looks like it's as good, if not slightly better, from the Volkswagens.
Yeah, we will see if they have something more to pull out for the final, but we will try our best.
Good, thank you.
Well, there's nothing you can pull out, of course, if there's no gap to get by. It's going to be about turn 1. You know, we saw there, Audi tried it. You know, it just not that easy. Just not that easy. So a carnage semi-final 1, a brilliant bit of racing in semi-final number 2. 2 finals still to come. Crowd have enjoyed that, and they've got a couple more to come. As I say, we've got the end of European Super 1600 Championship. Okay, we're going to take a look at Niklas Gronholm. So this, Tim, you were saying from that slot on the grid, look at this.
Yeah, I think there's a bit more grip on row 2, because he repeated what Solberg did. Actually, he was blocked but couldn't get through. But he had the good launch, didn't he? Up into turn 1, look, in 2 in front, run wide, door opens nicely. He just gets cut off there by Ekstrom, but
I don't think
so nearly.
I thought Ekstrom had backed him up, but I think it's the bump where he goes over. It looks like he's tried to back him up, and I think actually he's just covered off the inside line. So, but what a start by Gronholm, and great racecraft to get himself into there. How long before we're going to see another Gronholm on an FIA trophy, you know?
You were talking earlier, and I think this kid is the real deal. You know, he set the fastest lap of the day on that during this race. He's quick.
Brilliant. Okay, right, let's take a look then at Sebastian Loeb versus Ericsson. Big hit from Gronholm there, actually, the contact. So this is Loeb. Oh, this is Loeb in turn 1. Okay, now this is looking down the hill. So he's trying to get past Ericsson, who's in front of him. What happens to Ericsson? How does he get up the inside?
Well, look at the speed.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So it's almost like Kevin had a problem.
I do think Kevin moved across on him, because he was fairly down the inside with momentum as well.
And now he
wasn't
knows.
on the brakes. Yeah, he knows as soon as he can feel it through the steering. But he had momentum. He was down the inside, and I think Kevin was too late moving across.
Okay, well, there you go. Right, so we're coming to the close, of course, of this season, 2018, and we're starting to look forward to 2019. We had a new event earlier on this year at Speed Machine in Silverstone, and we've got some new events coming up next year as well. So the calendar should be announced in late October. That's when the FIA Off-Road Commission will be meeting. So we went to Silverstone, brand new track, music, bit of partying. Have to say, it was a good weekend had by all. You can see some of the activities which were off track, and we had a bit of carnage on track as well. It was good fun. So 2 of the events which you may or may know not about.
may or may not, you know what I mean? Easy
May or
for me
may
to
not
say.
know about.
We're heading to Yas Marina for the season opener, and we're heading to Spa, the famous F1 circuit in Belgium. They're both building brand new rallycross circuits, and we're going to have another festival atmosphere at each of those events. So we're looking at partying, we're looking at concerts. Most importantly, we're looking at World Rallycross going to some new venues around the world. One of them a classic in Spa, and they're looking. I've had a sneaky little look at the track plan. It looks like good fun. We're going to be going up Eau Rouge and back down it the wrong way. And then, of course, Abu Dhabi as well. Great stuff. Okay, Super 1600s are lining up on the grid. These guys have had a long season of racing, and it has come down to the very last race of the year. Fantastic. You're going to see it decided now. Joining me for this one, I'm delighted to welcome back Hal Ridge, who of course raced Super 1600 at European level himself and is a renowned rallycross journalist, becoming a renowned commentator as well, Hal. He's looking at the grid, he's getting excited about the points. So let's see the standings. Rokas Bakiuska is leading from Aidar Nureyev. Now what's important here is there's just 7 points in between them. They're both in the final. The win is 8 points. So if Nureyev takes the win, he'll go 138, but Bakiuska, the worst he can get without being disqualified is a point. So they'd be on 138 each, but Nureyev would take it on countback because these guys have 1 win each. But that is the only way that Aidar Nureyev, the Russian driver, can take it off Bakiuska. So he has to win and Bakiuska has to be P6. Artis Baumanis, unfortunately, went out in the semi-finals. He ended his race exactly where Sebastian Loeb ended his supercar race just a few moments ago. Okay, let's have a look at the grid then for the last round of the FIA European Rallycross Championship for Super 1600. Aidar Nureyev on the front row with Rokas Bakiuska, the 2 championship fighters. Timoš Gabutinov and Jesse Kallio, row 2. Joseph Suster and Gergely Marton on row 3. Hal, this is just about the 2 guys on the front row. They must be so nervous.
They are, yeah, and getting a Super 1600 car off the line is really difficult. Only the front-wheel drives generate any traction at all. We're about to get going.
Right, let's see who can do this then. Nureyev, a say on the left, has to win. He has to hope that Bakiuska is P6, so he'll be hoping for some turn 1 carnage. And again, that slot on the grid, the 3rd slot on the grid looks to have good grip, but it's Bakiuska who gets away best. Nureyev's in the side of him. Nureyev in the side of Bakiuska, who pushes him wide. Jesse Kallio looks up the inside. Kallio trying to find a way through. Shigabutinov is on the inside of these 3 cars. Oh, again, Bakiuska pushes Nureyev across the road. Nureyev is up the inside of Bakiuska. They're on the dirt now. Don't go in the wall now, lads. Nureyev takes the lead from Bakiuska. Bakiuska slots into 2nd place. That was hard.
Both run by Volon Racing, but absolutely no team orders at all there. These boys are going for the title.
They are indeed going for the title. 2 different cars, Hal. So, of course, they used to run the Skodas, and now the Bakiuska and Baumanis have been running this brand new Audi.
Yeah, transitioned into the Audi. Here, Kallio's gone for the Joker.
Kallio was looking quick in the semi-final, so Kallio won the RX Academy last year, and his prize was this Super 1600 drive. He was quick in the semis.
He was, yeah. He won in Norway earlier this season. He missed Q1, well, he retired from Q1 with a sensor problem yesterday, sorry. But fallback in the semi-finals was all over the leader, so he can play here if he makes up his Joker time.
So can Kallio do something from back there? Remember, the Joker is a little bit longer for the Super 1600 cars. It's gravel and it's slow, so it's hard for them to get the traction on the exit.
Longer by 1/10 of a second then.
Is that all it is? Wow. So Super 1600s are fast around here. Nureyev versus Bakiuska. Hal, for me, they're down in the bottom corner. Championship prediction, Bakiuska will win it from Nureyev by 4 points. Unbelievable, it's gone to the last race of the season.
Absolutely, and it's such a shame for Artis Baumanis. He won the first 2 rounds, he was right in this fight. The last few events have just not gone his way.
No, particularly at home in Latvia, which is gutting for him.
And again here, a similar sort of problem, but fair play to Nureyev. He started slow in the season, his first ever season of Rallycross, has picked up the pace, and in the last few rounds has really come into this. Today he has done all he can. He took top qualifier off Bakiuska, he won the semi-final, he's leading the final, he can do nothing more now, and Bakiuska just has to sit behind him to take the crown.
Brilliant job by Nureyev, but Bakiuska himself is not exactly a Rallycross veteran, is he?
No, he did 2 events last year. I think he got disqualified from the final in the first one that we commentated on in France last year. Finished 2nd in Latvia. He's gaining so much experience. I know he's been testing some other cars recently as well. He wants to be in this for the long haul.
Yeah, I spoke to Bakayuska on Friday. He was in with a supercar team. I think I've got an idea of what Bakayuska's looking to do in the future. And I have to say, judging from his pace after, 9 events in Super 1600 against people with a lot more experience, Bakayuska could be a weapon in a supercar. You know, look at what we saw from last year's champion, double Super 1600 champion, when he moved up to supercar in Latvia and France.
And he's with a super experienced team as well. That can only help you develop. That experience is coming into play here. It's all about the joke lap in Rallycross, isn't it? But he knows if he just sits behind, he can take the joker on lap 6 and just play safe to finish on the podium. As long as he's not last in this race, he's got the title in the bag.
Kallio, look, he's right up behind Martin. He could have done with Martin joker, and instead, though, he says, don't you worry, I'll have a look up the inside. So Martin hoping to get a podium, Kallio hoping to get a podium here. If he can catch up with Shigabutin on 2 seconds, Hal, it's on.
Proper Super 600 move as well. They're on the brakes, back end stepping out a little bit, nudges into the car on the outside, up the inside. Really nice move there.
Lovely job by Jesse Kallio, 3-wheeling as he goes around the bottom corner. Nureyev and Bakayuska are about to come past the commentary position. They're a long way in front, and still Bakayuska follows. There's no point in taking a risk, is there, and altering your strategy?
No, absolutely not. That gravel section over the top here is so fun to drive. You have to keep your foot absolutely buried and just let the front end bring itself back as you rise the crest.
Okay then, Nureyev on his way down the hill, Bakayuska in behind. Bakayuska was 3rd in Norway. He took the win in Latvia because he had a problem in France. I think it was from pole, wasn't it? He broke the car off pole position. So Bakayuska could have come in a better position. He could have had to fight his teammate Artis Baumanis, but instead he's been good all weekend. Nureyev has done everything good to beat him. But as it stands, Nureyev is going to go into the joker. Championship leader Bakayuska goes through behind him, and as long as the two make it up the hill, Nureyev is going to finish P2 on his debut year. But on his full debut season, Bakayuska is the 2018 FIA European champion for Super 1600, while Kallio, on his full season in S1600, comes across the line in 3rd. How some brilliant young talents in this series.
Absolutely, and I think 3 of the best young talents in this series and the whole sport to finish on the podium there. I'm delighted for all of them.
Fantastic. Hal Richards joined me for commentary of all the Super 1600 action. These little front-wheel drive cars, over 200 horsepower. They're rapid things to drive, sequential boxes. If you want to see any of the other rounds, go and find them on YouTube. They're all on there from the various events this season. It really has been a cracking season, but I think we've got a worthy champion there.
Absolutely, and it's great that the team let them race for it. There's no team orders. They were absolutely at each other on the first lap, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. But I mean, you're kind of worrying. It's almost like Nureyev knows, like, if the car gets broken here, I could do it. But I mean, fair enough. They would have gone to the stewards then, but luckily it didn't. And that man there is your FIA European Rallycross champion for Super 1600. Nureyev takes the win, but Rokas Bakayuska takes the title. Jesse Kallio with a great first year as well, and another podium to finish the season off. Shigabutinov, Suster, and Martin are the final finishers. So that's it for Super 1600. Of course, we've got RX2 to be wrapped up in South Africa at the end of the year. Great stuff. Here's Bakayuska. Neil Cole's down there, I'm sure. We'll be able to hear from him in just a second. That's it, we're going in. We're opening the door. Don't think he realises they're there, does he? Yeah, he's going to turn around and see a TV camera. Oh, hello. Yeah, now he realises. This is what happens when you win championships. Yes.
Rokas, at the beginning of the season, did you imagine you would be the 2018 European Rallycross champion for Super 1600s?
I don't have words, because look, it's so complicated. In Spain, in Portugal, was really difficult race. It's amazing. I'm European championship. It's amazing. It's my first title in the year.
First title, and you're just being congratulated over by your rival. So what an amazing result.
Yeah, it's amazing. In the last races, it's all closest, but I win. It's very amazing.
The crowd enjoy it. Enjoy the celebration.
Okay, thank you.
Bakayuska takes the title from Nureyev and Baumanis. Fantastic job by all of those drivers. Feel a bit sorry for Baumanis. Could have been a 3-way fight coming here. And Kallio down in P6 in the series, but with a win himself this year and another podium here in Germany. So some of those guys, I'm sure, will stick around in Super 1600. Some of them, hopefully, will make their way up into Supercar. Let's take a look back at the action from that one. Hal, talk us through this start and the first lap.
Yeah, again, lots of grip on the second row there. There's a dip after the start line there. When I was racing, that really made a difference to the suspension and the grip you had, but the suspension on these cars is so good now, it makes no difference at all.
So this was the exit of the first corner. Look at this, Nureyev and Bakiuska. It's like bumper cars down
Absolute
the straight.
scrum there, isn't it?
Yeah, massively, and particularly here when full lock trying to turn himself out of the wall. Nureyev was brave, but then he had to be because he knew he had to win. He couldn't follow Bakiuska.
Super difficult for Bakiuska as well there. Do you back out or do you risk pushing for it out? What do you do?
I'd have backed out earlier, but that's why I'm not a European champion, isn't it? You know, it's a great race between them. And then Bakiuska doing the sensible thing, following him home for his first major FIA title. Great job. Where do you think we'll see him next year? Hal, I know you're on the button with the rumours.
I couldn't possibly say.
I love it. I bet Hal knows. Bet you any money. Hal Ridge, thank you very much for joining us. Much appreciated. Been great commentating with you on Super 1600 this year. We have still got one more race to go. Six cars through to the final here at Estering. And we're looking at a mega battle for the win. Neil Cole is down in the pre-grid. He's got Petter Solberg. And, of course, Petter's name is on PSRX Volkswagen Sweden, who've been confirmed as the team's champion with the results from the semi-finals.
Petter, the gloves are on, the helmet's on, the final's about to get underway. You are officially team's champions, which is fantastic. Congratulations. But what are you going to try and do in this final?
Yeah, team champion we look at after, but anyway, it's try to get as much points as possible. Now Ekström won the points on the one before, and he's pulling away a little bit. So, but the thing is, I can only do my best, and I think I had a good semi-final, and we will see now in the final. Everything can happen. Yeah.
Good luck. Thank you.
Solberg trying to stay relaxed. There's our predictor down the side. Now, bear in mind, obviously, Kristoffersen cannot be beaten. That's pretty obvious when he's on 303 points. I don't think anybody's ever broken into the 300s on the points, but I might be wrong. That might be the first time we've ever seen somebody on 300-plus points at the end of a year. Probably am wrong. Extra P2, Bakker is P3, Solberg P4. 4 points between them. We know that Loeb has dropped out, Tim, so he's lost points from the semi. Now you can't get points in here. So this could mean that it's these three, realistically, that go to South Africa with a chance here. And it obviously means a lot to Solberg. So, your team's champion. I've lost points in the driver's title.
Yeah, it does mean a lot to him. And, the gloves are off now. In a way, the team's is sorted out, the drivers is sorted out. He's just got that second place to go for. So I expect him to be really pushing hard. But everybody in this final is a top-class driver. Any one of them could win. But certainly Kristoffersen off the front has a big opportunity.
Masses of fans you saw there with the Swedish flags and all the balloons. They've come from Hollius, our famous Swedish race. There they are, look, waving away. I can see them out the commentary box. I wonder if they're watching on their phones, if they knew they got a mention, because there's no other way they'd know about that. But yeah, so those guys up there, and of course they'll be supporting Kristoffersen. Although, to be honest, at Hollius, they're just like a good party and some good rallycross, and we've had some exceptional rallycross here. Okay, Neil Cole is down in the pre-grid and he's managed to find Susan Hansen, who I'm sure will be pretty nervous ahead of this one.
Susan, that was a very dramatic set of semi-finals. A big disappointment for Timmy and for Sebastian, but you've got Kevin in the final.
Yeah, we have all our hopes on Kevin now. Yeah, it was ruthless, the semi-finals, and we're glad that we are in a few seconds looking forward to see what Kevin can do. So all hopes on him.
Okay, good luck with that, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Quite a nice situation to be in, because finally Kevin is in a final on his own without the two factory drivers, because there have been occasions where they've had to do the right thing. He's a third driver, he knows that. He's lucky to have a contract with a factory team. He's had to give up places or play the good boy card. He hasn't got to do it now. Kevin can go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. They've all got something to go for in this final, and I expect Kevin to be absolutely on top form.
Can't wait.
The team is champions of 2018, which is great news, but put yourself in Johan's position right now. He hasn't had good results here in the past. What do you think he's feeling in the driver's seat?
I definitely don't think that he think about that. He think about only focus to the race. This is a single race for him. For sure, he like to win. That's why he's a competitor. He like to do a good result, and his only focus is to be first out from the first corner, which is tricky. Then to take care of the car, tires, and bring the car home. That's the target.
And for you, as part of the PSR, an important part of the team, what does it mean to win the team's championship?
For sure, it means a lot. it's our responsibility to Volkswagen and to our sponsors to deliver good results, and teamwork is all time very high in range if you go to Volkswagen and they see what we do. This is a result of a good teamwork, so that's really, really important.
And finally, did you give Johan any final words of advice before he got in the car?
He takes care of himself.
Thank you, good luck.
Thank you.
He takes care of himself. I like that. That's great.
Well, he's taken care of himself very well so far this year, hasn't he? Record number of wins, but this one would be very special for him.
I think he'd definitely like to make it through to double figures. Yeah, I mean, before this season, he held the title anyway for 7 or whatever it was. I mean, it's ridiculous that it's now 9. It could be 10, and it could be 8 in a row. I mean, it's just... Oh.
It's going to be interesting to see who's saved tyres for this final. Be interesting to see if that second row gives up better grip as well off the line.
There's 2 guys who I would love to see take this, and they're Gronholm and Kevin Hansen. I'm not going to lie, I'm supposed to not have favourites. Sorry about that. I get involved, I get a bit emotional. Tim, with your non-committal commentator head on, you know, who would you love to see win it?
Yeah, honest, I back Solberg actually to start, but, you know, emotionally, I think that, you know, my driver of the weekend so far actually has been Gronholm. I think he's, you know, absolutely delivered.
Here then is the lineup for round 11 of the 2018 FIA World Rallycross Championship. Estering, Kristoffersson on pole. He's never been on the podium here. Ekstrom has won here, and he won a title here as well. Row 2, same manufacturers, 2 Norwegians. Backward is on the inside, Solberg is on the outside, so 2 Audis and 2 Volkswagens. And then our wild cards at the back. These guys haven't had a podium yet, either of them. Could they take their first ever World Rallycross podium here? Could they dare to dream to take a win? Kevin Eriksson took his 1 win here. Anything can happen. Gronholm and Kevin Hansen. Okay, deep breath. Will it all be over by turn 1, or are we going to see a race for this one? The big trophy's up for grabs. Listen to that noise. The rumble, then the roar, now the fight. Brilliant start, backward, hooks up Solberg, 2 Solberg around the outside of Ekstrom, Kristoffersson on the inside of Ekstrom. Volkswagen's on the outside of both backwards, having a cheeky little look up the inside. Oh, all the way out into the dirt. Solberg's off, Kristoffersson in the background, in the wall. Ekstrom's gone on the wall, it's backward from Solberg. Kevin Hansen's up the inside of Solberg. He's going to go late on the brakes. Kevin Hansen's surely going to hold on to that position in the wall as it's Kristoffersson. Sorry, he's having a look at. Oh, my goodness me.
Well, it was a dramatic first corner. Solberg tried to do the famous round the outside manoeuvre, and it just didn't work. It only comes off 1 in 8 times, roughly.
Solberg goes Joker now, so Solberg goes Joker now, and it's Kevin looking up the inside of Kristoffersson at the bottom of the hill, but he getting all over excited, but backward leading this one. Kevin and Gronholm look at P3 before and up the inside. Kristoffersson's gone up the inside and backward to take the lead in turn 1.
What a move. Sensible by Solberg to take that Joker, get out of the trouble. There's been a lot of action on track. He could get out of it, but what a move by Kristoffersson.
Well, backward will go Joker right now because Kristoffersson's passed him on track and Solberg's going to be chasing the rear. If you go Joker now, you cover off the driver's line. Backward gets the Monster Energy Supercharger award, but he doesn't go Joker.
Well, I think he felt the others were too close, but look at Solberg. He's nearly on the back of this group, and all got to Joker in front of him.
Kevin Hansen now looking for a way past backward, and he can't. Ekstrom's up behind Gronholm. They go sliding all the way around through turn 1 as Ekstrom managed to get the inside of Gronholm there on the exit. I couldn't see in the dust in the background. Can we see the fight? We can. Ekstrom did. I was right. Ekstrom got up the inside of Gronholm on the traction on the exit of turn 1.
Yeah, just coming off the corner. He had a little bit better tyres probably underneath him and saving them.
Oh, that's Kevin in the wall. Kevin Hansen, Gronholm had to avoid him. Sorry, Tim. He definitely, did you hear? He lifted off the throttle and it was unusual because it's flat. Oh, there's Kevin's car. He's destroyed it. Kevin's destroyed the Peugeot.
And it's in a dangerous place as well.
Oh, it is. I wonder if they'll have to red flag it. So Solberg then up and towards the first corner. Kristoffersson leads from backward. Oh, everything that's happened in the space of a lap. Solberg now in front of Gronholm after Gronholm's choke. We need a red flag. Red flag. Oh, okay.
Well, we didn't see what happened there, but that was a disaster for Kevin.
Okay, so we need to know, most importantly of all, we need to know that Kevin Hansen is okay, because obviously the car was quite badly damaged. So we need to know Kevin Hansen is okay. We've got a marshal stood in the middle of the road, which is a bit brave when it's a blind corner. They know it's a red flag. So the emergency vehicles are being sent out. So there's a marshal getting a bit cross. I understand why. He's in front of our commentary position, but you can see where he's holding Ekstrom. There he is. He got cross because he's trying to hold the drivers to let the emergency vehicles out from behind commentary. What he doesn't understand is the drivers can't see him where he is, so he needed really to stand a bit wider. But fair play to the marshals. They put it on the line to make sure the sport is run and the sport is safe. That's us up in commentary at the far end. You can see Pernilla in the middle of the spotters tower. And we're waiting. We'll bring you any information we can on Kevin as soon as we can. Until that point, we'll just be taking a look around the venue and trying to figure things out. Now, Tim, I noticed Gronholm lift, and I either thought he's got a problem or that you don't need to lift into the right. We've seen it all weekend, and he's been particularly committed through that, and there was a flash of yellow, the briefest flash. Consider how wrong I get a lot of stuff. I spotted Kevin pretty quickly. That's obviously a pretty big crash.
Yeah, it's a fast part. You know, they're up through the gears out of the second corner. They're flat into that fast uphill chicane, unsighted as well, dust, a lot of possibilities as to what happened there. There'd also been a lot of contact earlier in that race. You know, you don't know if something broke, he lost his steering, any number of things could have happened.
And more important than us spotting it was Gronholm spotting. Gronholm did a brilliant job to avoid the stricken car.
Yeah, absolutely, that was the most important thing. Teams now rushing out to spot damage on the cars.
So we've had 3 laps. We're going to try and get confirmation. Okay, confirmation. We have a... We're going to go to a... okay, so they're fanning Solberg's engine, try to keep the temperatures down. We're going to... okay, we're going to have a full restart and a full 6-lap final still to come. So stay with us. There's a lot more action to play out. Right, they're ripping bits out of Solberg's car. We've seen this before, Tim. Silverstone this year, there was loads of damage on the front end of the car, and they were working on it. So they're obviously not considering this to be parc ferme for a start, unless, well, we'll see. Maybe they'll be in trouble for it.
Well, because it's a full restart, I think it will start again.
Okay, so Kevin Hansen on the outside, Gronholm, look, it was Ekstrom and Kristoffersen, Solberg. Backward, though, here is up the inside. Solberg's too wide, look. So then we saw Kevin. So Kristoffersen has to drop in. This is the point that I got myself confused and thought it was Solberg. Of course, it's not. It's Kristoffersen. Kevin, I thought, might claim that. So he just somehow dragged it out of the hole that Loeb got caught in, of course. And, Tim, it's hard when you're on the limit to suck the car back out of that hole.
As well, you know. But he did the right thing. He kept himself there
in the fight.
To fight later in the race. Unfortunately, didn't work out for him. Solberg took the early joker. This is on board Bakkerud off the line, moving across to the inside.
Good. It was a good slot, but that third place definitely has a great launch, Tim, for whatever reason.
And look, he managed to stay on the inside and avoid most of the trouble behind him. He still got roughed up, and it proved to be the right place to start. Just shows you don't have to start on the front row.
This is him down the hairpin, and by now he's starting to think already, because it's so hard to pass here, it'd just be like, okay, how do we do the tactics? When they know Solberg's back, it's kind of only got to respond to Kristoffersen. He won't joker early, of course, from the lead. No. He'll wait. He would only, I think they would respond more quick than they did in France when the Volkswagens went and they didn't respond. They gave him 4 laps, they overlapped him, and they got him on the last corner.
Yeah.
So I think when Kristoffersen would have gone, Bakker would have gone, and this, of course, in fact, Kristoffersen got through anyway, so he made a mistake.
And it didn't really look from the onboard like he'd done anything wrong, did he? But just Kristoffersen found the gap. This is on board with Gronholm. Look at the banging in front. Oh, he's being hit himself.
Look at Gronholm's screen, Tim, because the gravel is terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, I've seen a few screens being replaced this weekend. I'm not surprised. There's been a lot of damage on those. This is up through that fast chicane. Look, you saw how close Kevin was to the barrier there, that lap.
Gronholm through the right and then the left.
Looking at damage on the cars, trying to patch things up.
Bit of tape always works, doesn't it?
Well, miracle tape.
It's not looking... There's quite a lot of tape on there. But okay, so some serious work for these guys to do. They're giving them 1 more minute to work on the cars. And then I guess they're going to go for a restart. So let's see what happens. So they're shouting instructions to Kristoffersen. Depends where you're watching in the world as to whether you've been with us or if you've just come back from a possible advert break. And you can see the damage down on side of Christopher's car there. To bring you up to speed if you weren't with us in the last few minutes, we're waiting on a restart. The teams have been told they've got a limited amount of time to work on the cars. They'll possibly have done a little bit of fuel. I suspect not. I suspect they'll be fueled enough. They're going to do a full restart of a 6-lap final. And we're waiting to bring you an update on Kevin Hansen, because Kevin unfortunately had a large crash towards the bottom of the circuit. Solberg fanning the door. We saw them fanning the bonnet. Tim, it's hot here. It's 27 degrees on the track, 24 in the air. But how hot will it be in there?
Yeah, well, I think the PSRX guys, when they have the air inlet off, are just clearing out the filter, getting any dust out of it, getting any muck out of it. There's only so much they can do in this short space of time, but any dirt or muck they can get out of the inlet will be a help, obviously. They're just trying to keep the cars cool. These turbocharged cars, they like just tick over for a little bit, get the fans on.
Okay, so suddenly all the doors are open again. I'm sure I heard an engine switched off. Neil Cole is with Matthias Ekstrom, so we're going to go down to the grid and get an update from Matthias, but it looks like there's another little pause. So let's go and have a chat with Ekstrom.
Matthias, that was a chaotic race. From your point of view, talk us through what happened.
Yeah, it started off with turn 1 was pretty chaotic, and then I must say I was just dead last, and then I saw Timmy had an accident. I think I saw Johan past Andreas, and then I passed Niklas, had a touch with him down to the straight, so that was exciting, but now we have to make it all over again.
And give us an idea of how difficult it is to reset a car like this and reset yourself for the final again.
No, it's always difficult. You know, the conditions are changing, so for the start everything is different, so we'll do our best and see if we can manage.
Now, I saw you just as we were resetting, having a word with Johan. What were you discussing?
No, it's just about the start setting. When everything gets hot, it's different to when everything is cold, and I think it's the first time since a long time we have a red flag.
Good luck in the final.
Thank you.
So there you can see the lengths the teams are going to try to keep things cool. And that's assuming that they manage to get things to go. So, well, of course, this is round 11. And we've got one more race still to go. Round 12 down at South Africa, Cape Town. Take a look at this. Beautiful, beautiful views of what was a great track last year. Tim, I know you've not been down there, but you know the merge I was talking to you about, it provided brilliant action against a stunning backdrop. Table Mountain, you can see from the track.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to go there? It's a long first corner, it's got a jump. We haven't got a jump at this circuit, but they've got a jump there. That always adds to the feature, doesn't it?
Christopherson doing a few donuts, taking the win down there. Will he take the win down there this time? There it is, Table Mountain. What a backdrop. Beautiful place, Cape Town. If you're lucky enough to be joining us,
stunning vistas down there. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, Kevin Hansen is conscious and receiving medical attention. We will update you further when we have more information to give you.
Crowd giving a standing ovation, actually, because it's been a tremendous event. Nobody wants to see an accident, and we're all hoping for the best.
We are indeed. We are indeed. Okay, Susan Hansen is waving and looks okay. That is, I cannot tell you how important that is. I can't give you anything official from that, so please don't take it. Susan Hansen is Kevin Hansen's mum, and she is rightly extremely emotional about the activities of both her sons, Timmy and Kevin. And for me, if she's waving from the ambulance, Tim, this is a good sign.
Absolutely. She was acknowledging the fans' appreciation, and she wouldn't have been like that if she was concerned.
Okay, let's
take that as a positive sign.
That's a real positive sign. So, as I say, you need to wait for an official update on that, but take Susan waving to the crowd as a positive sign. And thank you for your patience at home, as well as those of you who are here at the venue. They're moving Kristoffersen across, and this team is because we've seen people being a bit cheeky with the grid slots. Kristoffersen is looking to get into lane 2, because we all know lane 2 is the full send lane, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's trying to both block off the gap behind, I think, but also I think that now everything's heated up and hot. He doesn't really want to be on the rubber, because it actually will bog the car down. So they're trying to find a little bit of tarmac to launch off. Now the cars are all hot, the tyres are all hot, that won't bog the car down.
Lining the rest of the cars up on the grid.
Yeah, the other rest of the cars lining up, doing their practice starts. They did a little practice start from Bakaru there. That's all he can do, just to feel the grip level, set the revs.
So Bakaru then is just going to roll his way up to his grid position, and there he reversed back up to him after. So the pre-grid actually in Estering is pretty tight, isn't it?
Very tight. Literally just get to dump the clutch, go 10 yards and stop. It's amazing how fast they accelerate in 10 yards as well when you're down there.
I've got to be honest, I would not be one of the marshals stood there with a stick between me and a supercar.
Let's just think about this. Is Solberg going to try around the outside again? It didn't work for him just now in the first start of this race. He got buried in the gravel trap, didn't he?
Backer had got a brilliant start, of course, took the lead and ran himself wide. He won't make that mistake again. He let Kristoffersen through. Kristoffersen was on for the win at the one circuit that's eluded him, and now he's got to do it all again. Yeah, we thought that was the last start of the weekend and the last bit of adrenaline for these guys, and now it's basically another full run through. And they'll be tired, Tim. It's hot, and every time the adrenaline goes up and down, it really wears you out.
Yeah, but these are professionals, you know. Once they'll be fully focused. Look at the eyes. Nicholas
Gronholm, yeah.
Gronholm, really focused.
Okay, Kevin Hansen is going to the medical centre on site, which is good news, because if he was more badly hurt, we would expect him to be evacuated from the site. Johan Kristoffersen on pole then for the rerun of the final here in Germany, with Matthias Ekström alongside him. Andreas Backerud on row 2 next to Petter Solberg. Backerud was leading, lost it to Kristoffersen in the first running of this race. And Niklas Gronholm on his own on the back row while we wait for a little bit more of an update on Kevin Hansen. Sounding better than it was. Crowd are on their feet, as I say, 22,500 attendants for this event this weekend in beautiful sunshine compared to the rain and the mud we've seen before. I don't mind either way, the action here is always epic. Another run then up towards turn 1. This time it's not such a good start for Backerud. Kristoffersen able to shut the door. Ekström goes wide. Solberg needs to close the door. And Backerud's up the inside of his fellow Norwegian. Gronholm rotates the car early, looking to try and get past Solberg. He can't either. So it's 2 Audis and 2 Volkswagens on the run down to the bottom of the hill. It is Kristoffersen who leads from Ekström.
That was a perfect getaway from Kristoffersen and a perfect first corner.
Really, really good drive from him. Nothing less than we would expect. Backerud then, okay, now it comes down to tax, but of course, Kristoffersen probably won't go Joker until the very last lap anyway.
Yeah, but if I was Gronholm, I'd Joker straight away, and that's exactly what he's done. He didn't need to follow, he might as well have Jokered. He's then got 5 laps to do the best.
He looked like he hesitated, Tim, but I think actually it's just the fact that the entry speed into the Joker is so much faster than the entry speed into the standard lap he's had to avoid hitting the car in front.
Yeah, but the right thing for him to do, he's got clear track now. If the others do stumble over themselves at all, he can pick some places off. It's not going to be hard to pass if he does.
But such a good effort, cannot reiterate enough what a good effort GRX have put in to bring a car which can match the pace of the factory teams. Let's not forget that. Petter Solberg wins the Monster Energy Supercharge Award, so maybe they'll give them 2, considering they've had reaction times in either. Into the Joker lap went Solberg. Solberg has covered off Gronholm goes wide. Look at that, brilliant into turn 1, doesn't quite pay off. Gronholm's screen is smashed to bits, and that's from the real gravel stones here, Tim, that just hammer the front of the car.
Yeah, look at the gear indicator, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, down to possibly 2nd. But yeah, that was sensible from Solberg as well, because his team had decided he had enough of the gap to get out in front of Gronholm.
Fastest lap of the day in the final, and at the point at which it should all be worn out, including the track and the tyres. Kristoffersen hammers in, fastest lap of the day. Gronholm looking for a way past Solberg. Go on, Niklas. Fastest lap of the day again for Kristoffersen.
How does he do it? This is the world champion in imperious form, isn't it? He wants to win here. He's now set the fastest lap. He always raises his game throughout the meeting.
He is just incredible. You have to respect how good he is. There's the dust, and you can see the gap. It's 1.2 back to Ekstrom. Baccarat goes Joker. Baccarat has slotted off to the left. He'll try and get the better of his team loss if he can, though I don't think he'll be allowed to because of the driver's standings.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
He'll be covering off Solberg for Ekstrom, won't he?
He will, so that Ekstrom can take it. Although he doesn't need to run wide like that, but he just gets out of turn 1 in front of Solberg.
So good tactics there from Audi. They've spotted that they need to get it. That gives him an extra point too. If Baccarat can take a point off Solberg, good stuff for him in terms of the race for P2. Kristoffersson again over the crest into the right. The gap's gone up by another 2 tenths. Look at the line. Just hands one wheel off over the dirt. He's a weapon.
It's absolutely perfect. So just Kristoffersson and Ekstrom left.
Solberg's gone, Tim. Solberg has dropped down the order. We saw Gronholm, but we didn't see Solberg. Look, Gronholm's on the... There's Petter. He's parked it. So Petter, has he clipped the wall?
Overheated? Has he hit the wall and broken the rad, or has it overheated? You're right, though. There were marks across the road, weren't there?
So has Solberg bounced it off that inside barrier and parked it? Look at the lines. You can see it. Looks as though he's parked that. So Solberg has gone out, and that is massive advantage extra, but not as much as it is Kristoffersson. Into the joke lap. This track has eluded him any kind of result. Now it gives him his 10th win of the season and his 8th in a row. It is a legendary season for Johan Kristoffersson in the #1 car. What a drive!
And he doesn't want to stop. He's still attacking turn 1 after the flag. He's enjoyed himself so much.
Incredible. Incredible. Yes, Henk, thumbs up. Thumbs up for the 10-time winner. Bear in mind, the 2 drivers behind Kristoffersson in the world overall winners list are Ekstrom and Solberg. They have 10 wins each, and Kristoffersson has taken 10 this year. Johan Kristoffersson takes the win in Germany. Ekstrom gets P2, Baccarat P3. Gronholm in 4th again. He was so close. Petter Solberg and Kevin Hansen are DNF. Solberg, though, getting the Supercharge Award. What a win by Kristoffersson. It's number 10 for this year and 8 in a row. Well, there we go. Incredible action to entertain the crowd. Good stuff. The Swedes will go home happy for Kristoffersson. Kristoffersson is looking dangerously like taking 11 out of 12, Tim, and if he does that, I know exactly what he'd be annoyed about. The fact it wasn't 12.
Yeah, only Sebastian Loeb, the man to deny him so far this year. Loeb, unfortunately, not making it through to the final, but South Africa is going to be fantastic. I have no doubt about it.
Can't see the front of Petter's car to see if he clipped the wall or not, or if he got pushed there even. Baccarat on board, just didn't get it hooked up in quite the same way. It's still a great start.
But look, Kristoffersson staying on the inside, absolutely no problem, does it perfectly, escapes away down to the turn 2.
Kristoffersson started doing his homework for this event before Kota. When he was, he was potentially going to win the World Championship at Kota, he did, and then he carried on with his prep afterwards. But he said it, didn't he, Tim, in Q1 and Q2 and Q3, I've done my homework, he really has. He's just done the 2 fastest laps of the weekend in the final on old tyres on a rough track. He's incredible.
He is brilliant. He treats every event almost in micromanagement terms, like it's a hill climb where he analyses every single inch of the track.
So this is Solberg.
Yeah, that's overheating. I think that engine's gone.
Very, very interesting. We saw them, didn't we, fanning the engine. We knew that was possibly going to overheat before they took the second start, and it didn't work out for Petter. So Neil Coles with his wife Pernilla.
Pernilla, a dramatic final, and of course a real shame for Petter, but at the moment it doesn't matter. You are the team's champions for 2018.
We are. I'm so happy. I mean, it was amazing last year when we won, but then to be able to defeat it and to do it again this year, it's fantastic. It's just another dream come true.
And give us an idea of what it takes to do that. It's not as easy as, Johan makes it look.
And well, of course, it's never easy, but when you have 2 drivers like Petter and Johan and a team behind them to support them and to understand what they really need to get out of a car, you have incredible engineers who understands and want to develop a car, then I mean it's just such a good team effort. The whole team knows what it takes, and every role is so important. So I mean it's a team thing. It's the whole team.
Enjoy the celebrations and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, you know, normally he holds a single finger in the air. He should really be holding 10 in the air, shouldn't he? He hasn't got any left. He'll have to wave a toe in South Africa. He takes number 11. PSRX Volkswagen Sweden are confirmed as the team's champions on 532 points. EKS Audi Sport, then Team Peugeot Total. Durex Tanaco GC Competition and Olsberg's MSE. So good job by Volkswagen Sweden. It was looking pretty likely here. And I would say that, yeah, in fact, I think that P2 and P3 are settled as well, looking at the points and knowing what's available in South Africa. So I think that will be your podium for the Team's Championship. But don't forget, the podium for the Drivers' Championship is not settled yet. Crowd are heading down towards the podium. I bet they never thought they were going to get a suntan this weekend, Tim.
I hope they remember the sun. You think what it was like last year, and the car parks were flooded, everything was wet, and people were saying, "Oh, I'm not enjoying this." But wow, what a weekend of fantastic rallycross action as this event has provided.
Neil Cole has managed to grab Johan Kristoffersson. 8 wins in a row, 10 in a season, unprecedented.
Johan, a nice hug there from Team Boss Bonilla. Another win, another record-breaking win, but just tell us how much it meant to put Estering on your list of wins.
Yeah, that was a very special one for me. I've been working very hard to be able to perform here, and I'm so happy to see that the work I'm putting in at home is really paying off, and it was a very, very clear result for me, for myself, that I was able to perform. Even if I wouldn't have been winning, it was a very, very good. I improved the crucial things that I would like to improve and that I've been practicing on, so I'm very, very happy and super happy for the team to be team champion.
Congratulations, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Johan, to me, looked more emotional about that than any other win he's taken this season. He's already the driver's title, but he said it's a sign to me that the work I'm doing at home is the right things, and that's incredible. He's the world champion, as you can see. Ekstrom, look, holds on to P2. Backerud up into 3rd, Solberg down into 4th. Still, though, there are only 7 points, look, between Solberg and Ekstrom. Sebastian Loeb, unfortunately, with the performance this weekend, has probably dropped out of the fight for a podium in the drivers' standings. Yeah, incredible. Tim, Johan, you know what I mean about the emotion? Just he's obviously gone into the detail, almost like it's frustrated him.
He's put an awful lot into this one because he felt it was a sort of almost a blot on his record.
Yeah.
What's he going to be like in South Africa? Maybe he'll finally relax and give someone else a chance.
I love the fact that he's that into it. I really genuinely do. I know there are people at home who are frustrated at the same winner, same winner. I get that. You know, we all want to see a new youngster come through and win it. You can't say he's a youngster, he is. You cannot do anything but respect the incredible performance of this man. And if you're in doubt, that interview with Neil where he's validating the amount of work he's put in to take away a weak point. And that's what you do to be the best of the best.
Yeah, and you've got to look at the caliber of the people that he is beating. World champions themselves in the same equipment.
15 FIA World Championships in this championship, with Loeb and his 9 titles, Solberg 3, Ekstrom with 1, Kristoffersson with 2. I mean, it's just, there is not another World Championship out there that has that number of titles in it, Tim, and so yeah, you couldn't be more right.
It is fabulous achievement when him and his dad set out on this path. I bet they never thought it would lead to this season of dominance. But things change quickly in motorsport, and to keep on, you have to keep pushing yourself. And the others now know what the target is. They'll go away and start analysing and doing the same sort of things that maybe he does.
Yeah, he could be setting a new benchmark here. I mean that, for the amount of effort that goes in at the top of a sport, to become that good. I'm sure it's happened before in F1, but the level that Kristoffersson has put in here in Rallycross, he's shown the other drivers where they've got to go if they want to beat him.
He is. I mean, he is now the man that everybody will try to emulate. He has set records. He is the best of the best at the moment. So yes, others will try and do everything that he can do.
Backerud tried to nick Solberg's champagne for the Supercharge Award. Love it. Yeah. No stone unturned.
And they can enjoy a well-deserved swig of the champagne.
Tim Harvey, thank you very much for joining us here.
Loved every second.
We've loved having you here. It's always a pleasure. Thanks so much, mate. Incredible weekend here. Kristoffersen has done the homework and it has paid off. He's looked good all weekend, and when it counted, when the chips were down, even when there was a rerun, he was leading the first run and he managed to come back and lead the second run. He's taken 8 wins in a row. He's taken more TQs in a season than anyone before. He's got 10 wins in a season. Can he make it 11 at the final round in Cape Town? 6 weeks' time, and you'll know the championship decider for P2 and P3 in the driver's standings at the fantastic circuit under Table Mountain in Cape Town. We will see you then.